Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. Welcome to episode 107 of Freshly Grounded. This episode is with Faruq McDermott, the only guy in the world that you'll hear with that name as you hear throughout the podcast. Faruq is a presenter at Iman channel. That's how, as in, he's one of the other presenters at Iman channel who I met in Ramadan, and we spoke, and I really liked his personality, and I wanted to hear his story, and so I invited him onto the podcast. He very generously accepted. He's also studying at the University of Medina right now in the Jannah, and so we hear a bit of stories about how he got that. He actually managed to get into the Jannah in post 30s, and we know that you normally can't even get in after the age of 25, so we hear about how he managed to get in. We hear about his opinion on the Jinn and the aliens, and his fascination with that, and with kind of like the science in general. What else? Muslim drug dealers a lot, yeah. Muslim drug dealers and gang members. It's very, very interesting, brothers and sisters. Very, very interesting episode. This is actually also our longest ever episode, so you'll be maybe happy to hear. Let us know if you get through the whole thing, and inshallah ta'ala we will be back next week. And with that, I believe Sam's back next week as well. With that being said, guys, please do check out our Patreon, which is patreon.com/freshly grounded, patreon.com/freshly grounded. It's how you can support the podcast for £5 a month. You become a premium subscriber, and you get every episode one day early, with a bunch of other kind of advantages, but the main thing is you're able to support us, and it helps us with some costs at Freshly Grounded, and to be able to keep going. So do check out our Patreon. With that being said, guys, this is Freshly Grounded episode 107 with Faruq McDermott.
And welcome to Freshly Grounded, the brand new podcast by best friends Faisal and Sam.
Huh?
I said welcome to Freshly Grounded,
No, after that bit.
the brand new podcast
And after that bit?
by best friends Faisal and Sam.
Really?
Faruq McDermott.
Are you rolling, yeah?
Yeah, we're rolling, man.
Okay.
Right,
Cool.
Faruq McDermott, the only person in the world that has that name.
Nah,
Probably, most likely.
no probablys about it, bruv.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. There's no other Faruq McDermott. That's for sure.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
It's so funny because I remember when you introduced yourself the other day to someone, you said they was asking for your name, and you were like, Faruq McDermott, there's no one else. Like, there's no one else. The only one who's called that in the world.
I'm unique, mate.
Alhamdulillah.
You know what I mean?
So, bro, look, we met. Do you know what, bro? I know I'm gonna. This is probably gonna be annoying and not great etiquette, but I'm not comfortable with how high my waves are going right now, my audio waves, and so I'm just gonna reduce them a tiny bit.
Yep.
I'm happy with that now. Look, we met a very short while ago, 1 month ago, right?
Yeah.
We met at the beginning of Ramadan. Because alhamdulillah, Iman channel kind of brought you on as like a Ramadan presenter,
Yep.
and they brought me on to present Ramadan, and so we got to spend a lot of time together. I'd seen you before, but I never really got to know you until this past month, and I feel like I've got to know you quite a lot this past month because I've seen you more than I've seen my family for a lot of the time. For a lot of it. Alhamdulillah, we've done a lot of like night shifts together and stuff. And bro, you know what? You're just how I imagined you to be as a person, which was a very positive affirmation I had of you.
Okay.
Because I'd seen some of your stuff before. I loved your
Oh, really?
Yeah, I
What
loved
did
your
you see
It was
before?
just the Iman channel stuff. It was
Oh,
just like
yeah,
right at the
yeah,
beginning.
yeah.
But I just loved the vibe and the personality you had, and because it's so vibrant, I thought that perhaps a lot of it is a performance, and that wouldn't be a negative thing because the times I've seen you, you've been in front of the camera, and you do have to somewhat perform in front of the camera. But bro, you're consistently like that at 24/7. Do you get that a lot?
No, not really. When I first started media, I always had this. It was. But by the way, yeah. If you want to, we can go from how I got into media, if you like. And
Well,
this
eventually I want to actually start from how you even took your shahada.
Okay, yeah, however you want to start, yeah, but I suppose I'm not a trained professional. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
I just do me. I just behave as I behave. If you don't like it, khalas, man, no danger, you know what I mean? I'll just roll out how I am. And I suppose that's how I've remained consistent, as you could say. Just being myself, bruv.
But do you think that comes with age, bro? Because as you get older and you mature, you realise that you become comfortable with who you are as a person. You don't care about people judging you as a person.
Yeah, I suppose in a way you could say that, but I was always like that. The thing is, when you're younger, you shape yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
what you become as you get older, who you become, should I say, as you get older, gets shaped from a very young age. And my mum taught me a few key principles. Well, the main one being is if someone hits you, hit them back.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've kind of always been like that.
Yeah.
Not in just a physical sense, in be who you are, and if someone don't like it, you know what I mean, don't take it, you know what I mean, don't change as it was. Someone can hit you, normally they hit you for a reason.
Yeah.
They hit you because they want you to stop being whatever you're being at that time, or they're trying to make themselves something that they're not. Like they'll bully you, they'll push you around, yeah. And if you accept that, you're going to conform to their opinion of you. So always fight back, man. No matter what it is, just stand up for yourself. And because of that reason, one of the many reasons anyway, that I just be myself. I don't care, bruv. I really... I don't.
I seen that in you over the past month, and I think that's such an attractive trait, man. Like to have that.
It's not in a rude way. It's not.
Nah,
like,
because you put it off in a very positive, in a very good way, in a way in which it's admirable. It's like, yeah, you know what, he's
mate, put your shoe in my face, bro.
He's confident.
No, but I know what you're saying.
Do you know what I mean, bro?
Not
Like,
everyone could be like that.
It's confidence, man. Bro, right. So look, let's check all the way back. You said to me that you were, when we started, when I spoke to you about jumping on the podcast, when we were at Eman channel, you said to me, look, no hold bars. I'm comfortable talking about whatever. Yeah. So I wanna.
Yeah, we did mention this just before the podcast started, bro.
Yeah, and also earlier, like if you
almost to a point, there's no holds barred, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, to a point. Yeah, to a point. There are a few rules, brothers and sisters. But, we won't go into what rules they are, but yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Only for me, by the way. Special rules just for
true,
me.
You know, it's true. Well, you're a bit of a loose cannon.
yeah, I suppose I am. Yeah.
So you're 33 years old, right?
Yeah.
And you took your shahada.
Give or take, I'm almost 33. I'm knocking on a door.
You're 21 when you took shahada?
I was. Well, how old was I? Either 21 or 22.
Okay.
I took shahada. I think it was 2008.
Fine.
Yeah, 2008.
And
so,
and how? So take us through that. How many times have you told me that story? A lot.
Several times. Yeah. There's different versions of it.
To explain.
There's different versions, but the best one is the super short version. Yeah, for me, because I did my first time I did the story was a bit of a long-winded version.
Okay.
They followed me around with a camera.
Oh, wow.
I had to go to certain places. This was years ago. You could probably never be able to see it again. Yeah, it was a probably one-time run on one of these channels. I think it was Iqra UK.
Yeah,
Iqra UK.
Who's Iqra run by?
Imam Qasim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The one here, Iqra UK, not Iqra, the Arabic.
No, I know Iqra, Imam Qasim. Yeah.
Yeah, Imam Qasim.
And they did something with Ali Banat when he was here.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh okay.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, this was years ago though. You probably won't be able to get it. They probably haven't even got it in their library anymore. This was when they first launched. I did something for them.
They followed you around your hometown and stuff.
They just come to see me in my hometown.
Okay.
Yeah, they filmed me there. They asked me about how I came into Islam, and then I did one with I always forget his name, man. Traveller with the Quran.
Oh, Journey with the Quran.
Yeah, Journey.
Muhammad Salam.
No, not Muhammad Salam. This is another guy. This
maybe not Journey
the
with the Quran.
Kuwaiti Sheikh, man. I love him for the sake of Allah. He came to my yard as well. I forgot his name.
Sheikh Abdul Rahman Sufi.
No.
He's Kuwaiti, no?
No. I forgot his name.
No,
If someone Googles it, man, forgive me, man. I'm not very good with names. He came to mind. That was the best one. I did quite a thorough version of it there. You can watch it on YouTube as well.
Fine. In that case, tell us the one that you're.
I'll give you a very brief version of it. Yeah. The crux of it was, early on when I was little, I always believed in God. Yeah. Whenever my mum would tell me off, have a go at me, shout at me, yeah, maybe get smacked around the head. Yeah, clip round the ear, as they say. Yeah, or whatever else was involved. The purple slipper, a classic one. My mum had this slipper. She'd bap you with it.
Special occasions.
Nearly every occasion, bro, yeah. And there was a little cane as well she had, yeah. But my mum was strict, but she was a good woman. She brought us up in a good way, you know. I remember I'd go into my room and I used to have this bunk bed, and I'd lay under the bunk bed and I'd pray to God and I'd say, oh, please let me see what happens when you die. I always had this affinity with the akhirah. Always wanted to know what happens when you die. What is there? This was like a natural desire from a very young age. I've always wanted to know. I used to believe in ghosts and things like that, you know. So I was always interested in the unseen, the al-ghaib. This was something natural to me, alhamdulillah. And then when I got older, obviously I wasn't a religious person, nothing like that. But I always believed in God. And then brother used to live next door to me, Pakistani brother. When I first met him, he spoke with an English accent. And where I grew up, there was no real ethnic minorities there. There was a Indian corner shop owner. You talk like this, proper accent, you know. So this was my only understanding. I thought everyone who comes here is going to talk like that, yeah. And there was one black guy. That was it. There was no other foreigners, as we call them, like, you know what I mean? Immigrant, yeah, whatever. There was no one else there. So when I met this guy, he had an English accent. I was like, what happened here? How did she get that accent? I got to know him, and over the years we used to have little discussions, and I used to go into his room, and on his wall was the last sermon of what I saw sent him, and I'd read it, and I'd sort of berate him with it. I'd say, you lot, you need to follow this man. Yeah, he's telling you the right thing to do. You know, kind of, because it was his prophet, as it was. Yeah, I didn't even know it was a prophet. I just say, like, this man, whatever he's saying, you need to follow him. You lot are no good. Yeah. And then one time I was trying to figure out if you could travel faster than the speed of light. I was really interested in science. I wanted to time travel, bruv, yeah? Again, al-ghaib. I wanted to go back in time, forward in time, whatever. And I kind of came to the conclusion that you can't. But except for people who predict the future, this was the issue. People who predicted the future. How is it that someone can say something's going to happen and it happened and it be accurate? I wanted to know. I thought maybe the future already exists. It just hasn't happened yet. So how are the people bringing that information back? So I looked at people who predicted the future. And this brother, he gave me this book. Well, he gave me this CD that talked about the hereafter. It's actually called The Hereafter. And it had in it signs of the Day of Judgment. And I remember listening to that. And I was like, wow, this makes sense what this guy's saying. And that was the Prophet Muhammad said. And then he gave me a book called A Brief Illustrated Guide to Islam. I read that. And I knew Islam was the truth. And then one time I was going with a brother jogging, took me jogging. Quite a few brothers, actually. We all went jogging around the local park. And I was with Jawad then. Jawad was in that little crew. And anyone who knows Jawad, he loves Dawa, yeah. He's, alhamdulillah, he's very dedicated to calling people to Islam. So I remember we caught up with him. Because me and him were much slower. I was proper unfit, yeah. And we caught up with him. And he said, I might not be able to run with you in the dunya, but I'll fly with you in Jannah, inshallah. And I thought to myself, who don't want to fly, bruv? You know what I mean? You give a man an option to fly. Bruv, if I said to you now, yeah, you drink that coffee, you're going to fly. Man, you drink that down and fly off, bruv. You would want to, right? So when I heard about flying, I was like, yeah, I want to do that. And I said to them, like, how do I do it? And they're like, I said, if I get run over by a bus, will I go to this Jannah? They said, no. I said, why not? He said, because you have to believe in 3 ways: heart, tongue, and action. Yeah. So I believed in my heart. I said, what's the rest of it I've got to do? And they said, you've got to say this and you've got to, become a Muslim. I was like, cool. And I just became Muslim.
On that jog?
Yeah, literally afterwards, we got a bit of bite to eat. He explained to me that you've got to have 3 things: heart, tongue, and action. Boom, I jumped in, mate. Akhi, who don't want to fly, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's so amazing to hear different
some
ways
people are going to hear
shahada.
this and probably think, very naive person, easily led. It's not the case. It's a bit of a very short version of it. I wouldn't say that I knew everything about Islam when I accepted it. I wasn't a person who knew a lot about Islam, but I knew that the Quran was from God. There's no way that when I read about the scientific verses, or you could call them whatever you want to call them. Yeah, some people they don't like to use that in Dawa now. Yeah, they don't like to talk about the so-called scientific miracles of the Quran because science changes. The Quran doesn't. Yeah, but for me, it's irrelevant. What I felt at that time, and when I read the ayat talking about how we're created in a womb, I knew it was from God. So,
how did your parents take it? You've been mentioning your mum a lot. Was your dad around?
No.
Okay.
Single parent and all that.
Okay,
But you know what I mean? Council estate and all that. Yeah?
Have you had any interaction with your dad?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Okay. And so, how did your mum take it?
My mum.
Did she find out straight away?
Nah, it was about 2 months because without going too much into detail, because I don't mind talking about it. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know how my family would take it.
Yeah, fair.
But let's just say there was a certain member of the family who was allegedly a religious individual, yeah?
Okay.
Mentally ill person. Yeah?
Fine.
So when I told them, obviously, I believed in God, Mum was worried, that I might be going down a similar path.
I see.
Yeah, so, but at first, she was like, I thought I was going to go there. Genuinely, I thought I was going to go home, tell him about the ayat of Quran, and everyone's going to be like, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. I had this that was the naive part, yeah. I thought everyone's going to accept it, yeah. I thought it's clear cut, black and white, mate, yeah. Rolo, give them da'wah, everyone's going to take shahada. So I went home, and obviously everyone reacted the opposite.
Of course.
You know, strange behaviour. Plus, at that time, I was with the old Sufis. Yeah, the Sufis, bruv. So I was busting out a turban. I had the khul in my eyes and that. I rolled in with a phobe on. Yeah, I was fully committed, bruv.
Wow.
Man was committed, yeah. So I went in there.
I can't imagine you with a khul in your eyes and a turban, actually, man.
Geezer, I was rolling around town, walking with my hand in my pocket, looking down. You know what I mean? I didn't look nowhere else, bruv. My eyes were fixated to the ground. I was doing dickety layers. I was walking. I was like, subhanallah, trying to grow my trees in Jannah, bruv. I was very committed early on, you know. Well, the little I knew, I really believed it, bruv. I'd banging on matey boy's door, tend to get up for Fajr.
Oh,
like,
really?
bang, get up.
Man next door.
Get up. Yeah, I was ruthless, man. I was horrible. I was horrible, man. Allah forgive me. I was ruthless, bruv. I was like, why are you dressed like a non-Muslim? You need to fear Allah. I was really bad, man. I really, because I thought, what's the point in wasting your time? Everything should be related to reward. In a sense that...
in the sense that there's no hikmah.
Yeah, no, it's pure maths, bro. Formulas.
Yeah.
Like that makes reward. What are you doing wasting your time, bruv? You know what I mean? Rather than there was no iman at the beginning. Because iman was all I had. Do you get what I'm saying? I didn't have no ilm. So when iman in the wrong hands, and we could talk about this as well later on, iman is a very dangerous thing if it doesn't have knowledge. Like an example, iman is what drove the Sahaba to put their lives on the line, yeah, and that's something which, with the wrong understanding, can cause real issues for the Muslims across the world, as we've seen, yeah. Iman without knowledge, belief, faith that this is really true and this is going to happen if I do this can be really dangerous, bruv, yeah. Without knowledge, Iman is beautiful. But if you put people on the wrong path, it can lead to destruction. Well, let's talk about.
Let's talk about that now, because you. If we fast forward now, kind of 12 years later, you've started. Well, I'm not saying you started now, but you are taking studying a lot more seriously now. You're studying full time.
I wouldn't say it's any different actually. I'm just trying to learn Arabic now.
Okay.
And perfect my Quran. Inshallah. But yeah, you're right. Allah's given me an opportunity to go study in Medina. Alhamdulillah. I'm there. I'm a new student there. I'm one of the older students from the old Britannia.
So two questions. What made you make that jump to go from, because some people take their shahada, or even if you just talk about Muslims in general, not even new Muslims, people who are practicing Muslims, there's a difference between those who practice and then those who like are seeking knowledge on a level where they're willing to travel for it, etc. So A, what made you do that? And B, how did you manage to get into the Jamia in Medina at 30, like post 30 years old? Because there's like this real like concept of, I've heard as well, especially that, you know, you got to get in there while you're young, otherwise it's almost impossible.
25 is the age limit. Yeah. When I first applied, I think I was 24 years old.
Okay.
So I applied like 7 years ago, bruv. You know what I mean? 8 years ago, yeah.
And every year since?
Yeah, but no, I didn't apply every year. I applied that first time. And strange story, actually, bro. I applied, and I thought it was a given. Everyone was like, yeah, you're a white guy, you're going to get in. Yeah, I thought it was sweet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You hear that a lot.
Use the barakat while you got it, like, you know what I mean? And so I applied. I thought I was going to get in. But there's an online service that they say, send us your details, you know, and... So I did. I sent them all my information, this online website. I don't want to mention what website it is. My application got deleted, bruv. Yeah, and I kind of felt like it was there's a known information about a certain group that used to, you know, run riot from amongst the British students there.
Okay.
And Allah knows, I don't know the reality of it, but that's how I felt. Like someone had deleted it. Because when I had my first interview here, there was a sheikh who came to, he was in High Wycombe. So I went to High Wycombe for this interview. Yeah, I had the interview with the sheikh, gave him my details of my application, whatnot. And I thought, you know, alhamdulillah, that I'd get in. But then when I went for my second interview, when I went for my first Umrah, they were like, your application don't exist. I was like, no, I definitely got the number and everything, yeah. Then he asked me, okay, what's your name? The guy there, what's your name? And I was with Umar Hajjaj.
Yeah.
He's, mashallah, man, bless him, Sheikh Umar Hajjaj, who recently graduated. Well, not recently, he's a couple of years now, I think. But yeah, he took me in there, and the guy was like, your application don't exist. I was like, well, yeah, it does, because I got a number. And he went, well, that number's not showing up. He asked me my name. I gave him my name. And he looked it up and he went, oh, yeah, it is. It's been deleted. And I was like, that's strange. Why did it get deleted? Yeah, and he's like, oh, don't worry about it. Just do a new application. So I did another application. And I thought he said, yeah, you're going to get in. But then they had like this pause where they didn't take students in for a while. I think it was like 2 years or whatever. So again, it was delayed again. So I went for my second Umrah and I went again for an interview. And this time I said to the geezer, I said to him, if I became a Shia, yeah, and I walked down to the Iranian embassy and I said I want to go study in their Jamia, in their university, I said they'd instantly give me a ticket to come and join. I said they'd fund me and everything. So when it comes to the haqq, you lot are slow. Or something like this. I can't remember. I got Umar this second time I took Umar Hajjaj again. May Allah bless him. And this time it seems like I got in. Maybe little sheer threat got the, you know what I mean, application sorted, bruv. You know what I mean, little advice to anyone out there, say that, you know what I mean, if you joined another sect, that'd make it easy for you, you know what I mean?
And so this was when?
This was 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, this one happened, 2017. Then last year, in May, I got an email saying, yeah. But it came into my junk email box. So it was only by chance I saw that I'd got in. Then they booked me on a flight. I didn't even know it, bruv, for September. And then like a few days before the flight, I found out I meant to be flying. I was like, I'm not ready for that. So I missed it. Ended up having to pay a fine, 80 quid fine, because I missed my flight. And then I got onto a flight for the end of September. So I got there like September the 28th, I think it was. Just gone, September. And I started. And I got into the Mahad al-Lughat al-Arabiyya.
And how is that going? Lughat al-Arabiyya.
Well, it's not what I thought it was going to be. Anyone out there who wants to apply and join, definitely learn Arabic before you go. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's not for a new student. It's a diploma program. So you get there and it's just in Arabic with Arabic books.
But it's weird. You say that, but I because the preconception that someone like myself has from what you hear is that if you don't know Arabic, for the first 2 years, they'll teach you that Arabic.
No.
So you get straight into Arabic.
Yeah, it's like imagine going into, like, say you want to learn Mandarin.
Yeah.
And you go to China to learn it. Yeah. And you go into the classroom and it's everybody is sitting there in the classroom and he speaks only Chinese and he gives you a book with Chinese writing in it. And what chance do you think you got to learn in it?
But how
that method?
But you are able to actually have conversations. So how did you get to this level then?
Through YouTube, bruv.
Really?
Yeah, I'd go back to my room and I'd watch my YouTube videos,
No
bro.
way.
That's the only way I learn. Otherwise, I would have never been able to.
YouTube lessons or just like watching
videos of the Medina Arabic online. Yeah, that's how I learn. Because you have spare time. I'm there to learn, Akhi, so you got spare time. As being a bit older as well, I remember back in the day when you're young, Akhi, you read a book, you've almost memorised it in one go, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I had a pretty good memory. I read a lot. When I became Muslim, the only dua I knew in Arabic was Rabbi Zidni Ilma.
Okay.
So I did that dua all the time.
Subhanallah, look at
I
that.
just constantly doing that dua. And I used to read a lot. And I found it easy to memorize things from Islam. Principles, more so than specific ilm. I weren't memorizing books, but I'd memorize principles. Or I'd memorize things about Jannah and Nar and things like that. So I picked up knowledge quite quickly. In about 2 years, I learned quite a lot of the basic stuff. I'm not talking about, I weren't an alim or anything. But then over the years as well, I spent time with some shiur. I weren't like a student of the shiur, but I'd go to lessons and I'd speak to different shiur on the phone and I'd ask them questions. And I spent, I like to listen to one sheikh, Abdurrahman Dimashqiya, who I benefited a lot from over the years, and I've spent time with him. I like him very much. He's very knowledgeable sheikh, and he stays in his ground. And I asked him one time about a fiqh question. He said, "Man, I'm not a fiqh scholar," even though he's I think I hope he's not watching. Yeah, I don't want to overpraise the sheikh, but I think he's memorized Sahih Muslim or close to memorizing Sahih Muslim. He's very knowledgeable, but he won't answer things if they're too intricate. You say go to someone else, mashallah. But with Aqidah and things like that, he's excellent. When it comes to belief and Tawheed and things like that, he's very, very strong in that knowledge, mashallah.
You see a lot of hikmah used by the big shuyukh, and it makes you almost embarrassed when you are trying to help your family sometimes and stuff. And obviously, the waswas comes into it as well. So I'm not saying don't advise your family, but when you see the shuyukh that use so much hikmah, I remember I asked a question to through someone to Sheikh Abu Abdullah Yunus, I think it was, and the question was very intricate, and it was a question that I knew was a struggle to answer, but it was pertaining to business and stuff like that. But it was something that I needed in order to know. I felt I needed in order to know to be able to carry on. Because if I got the answer that I thought is more Islamically correct, the chances are that my whole business would have shut down, right?
Gotcha.
So I don't know.
So you were shopping for a fatwa, bruv?
No. I was actually shopping. No, I wasn't shopping for fatwa. I was actually looking for that answer. That's the answer I was looking for. The one that was going to shut me down. But I just wanted it. Because I just couldn't live with myself knowing that I'm trying to do something that wasn't right. So you wanted to be told. I wanted to be told that
it was wrong what you were doing. Yeah, gotcha.
So I've been asking different people, and I never got clear answers. So I finally got to this one. I was like, you know what? I'll ask enough round. And so I asked, and the reply I got back was such hikmah, bro. Listen to this. The reply he said, sometimes it's better not to ask. And that's all he said, bro. And I took from that, and I didn't, before I asked him the question, I didn't think to myself, this is the last person I'm going to ask, because I'd asked so many students of knowledge before. But when he gave me the answer, I said, khalas, I'm not asking anyone else now. Yeah. There's hikmah in that. Yeah. And then one brother who told me, who I went through, he told me, and he said, look, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would sometimes narrate that you should take fatwa from your heart, from what's in the heart. It basically said that sometimes you just know, you know what I mean? And so, bro, when the sheikh said that, I was like, khalas, I'm content actually now, because it's almost like someone was telling me about a sheikh who people asked, I think it was a sheikh in America or something, but people basically asked if cabin, like Uber and stuff, is permissible or not. And the sheikh basically replied, and I don't know who this was or anything, I'm just telling the story as I told it. Yeah. But he basically replied and said that he can't come out and say that's haram, and the reason he can't is because he has to weigh out the fact that if he was to say that there's such a large quantity of Muslims who are supporting their family through that job, that he doesn't want to be held responsible for the calamities financially that would occur from that. And so through his hikmah, he didn't answer the question. You see that?
But it's from the Sunnah. Like there was one time the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What happened there, bruv? You got zapped on your head, bruv. You know what I mean? I think it was. I think after Fath al-Makkah, he was talking about performing Hajj, and one of the Sahaba kept saying, every year, Prophet ﷺ, he told them perform Hajj, and the man said every year. He said perform Hajj every year, and his Prophet ﷺ said, if I was to say yes, then it would become wajib on you. So just accept what I've said. Yeah. Yeah. If you keep asking, and I like Miswak, Prophet ﷺ, he said if I was to say so, it'd become wajib before he died. Yeah. Yeah. He said if there was anything that I wanted, I would say about Miswak, but he refrained from doing so because it might cause difficulty in the future. So there's hikmah sometimes, like you said, mashallah. May Allah bless the shuyukh and may Allah benefit us from their knowledge. And that was that was part of my development, I suppose. Spending some time with some shuyukh over time, talking to them and listening to lectures and taking a lot of benefit. There was one sheikh, may Allah bless him, rahimahullah, he's passed away now. Sheikh Abdul Hadi, rahimahullah. He used to live local to here, bruv, where we are now. And
did he pass away recently?
A couple of years back, he was shot dead. May Allah have mercy on him. He used to be the imam at Acton Mosque. Okay. And Noor Mosque in Acton. Okay. He was the imam there. There was a lot of fitna that went down. And I knew the sheikh personally. May Allah bless him. And I used to benefit a lot from him. The thing was, he was like a specialist in the Shafi and the Hanafi madhab.
Okay.
Very clever, mashallah. But his manners was excellent. I benefited a lot. One time I was sitting in front of him, yeah, and there was one of these shuyukh from America was being talked about. And I was a bit younger then. This was 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe a bit more actually. And I said, I called that guy useless. I said, "Oh, he's useless, mate." You know what I mean? A sheikh, he told me, don't say this. Don't insult people. And I really benefited from that one moment with him. Because you don't know anybody's case with Allah. There's things in the dunya that we see and we judge people on. And there's nothing wrong with judging people according to what you see from them. Yeah. But what is with Allah and what Allah knows about them is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He knows them better than you. So if you insult someone, really and truly, you're only taking away from your own self.
Yeah.
You're not benefiting from insulting them. Yeah. Is there a position where you can insult people? Definitely, in Islam. This is from the understanding of the Salaf. Sometimes you can, in a joking fashion, say something about someone. Yeah. I'm not giving a fatwa. My sheikh said this. I asked him once. But there's conditions.
Yeah.
You can't just go around insulting people.
Yeah.
But if you said, "Oh, someone's silly," for a position they've taken, or someone like complete deviant, and you call them a deviant, like kelp or whatever, dog, if that person is really bad, and there's nothing wrong with calling them a dog, but that's my understanding. Look, I'm not giving fatwa on your show, stuff for Allah. I'm just saying that's what I was told. So, but yeah, that sheikh, man, I bless him, man. Yeah, I benefited a lot from his manners. There's so many there's people you just don't know about. Yeah, they're very, very knowledgeable. There was one guy, when it come to debating and arguing, sometimes when early days of Facebook and that, you'd get into debates with people and arguments, stuff for Allah. And people love to play Pokemon with the old shuyukh. They pull out an old, in this book, this sheikh said this, and they bring it out like to try and defeat you, I didn't like that. It was really boring. There was no benefit in it. The Prophet said, the Sahaba said, and you start pulling out some, there's one guy who does that today. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention him, he's from Birmingham,
Okay.
And he calls himself a mufti, but he's way more knowledgeable than me, for sure. But when you listen to some of the points they bring, it's always from scholars from an old book. I didn't become Muslim because of the guidance of a scholar. It's Allah who guided me, man. I don't lean upon the ulama for my religion. If you do that, if you base your religion on the statements of men, you're building it on a very weak foundation. But if you build your religion upon Tawheed and your belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's solid. That'll never change. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You are able to kind of meet a lot of these people and stuff because of your work in the Islamic media. So
Yeah.
I want to talk about that. At what point after you you became Muslim, did you start?
About a year.
Oh, so you very quickly got into Islamic media.
It was by accident, bro. I remember I get a phone call from my brother, and he was saying, "Yeah, we want a white guy for a show."
Was this when Ramadan TV was about? Or?
Yeah, this was in the inaugural year of Ramadan TV, and I was like,
It's fine, bro. So I was so intrigued.
Bro, I can hear Chris.
Yeah.
Open or something,
I think
man's feeling some of that chocolate,
nice.
That looks good, bro.
Pass them over to Faruq, man.
No, I'm joking. I don't need nothing, bro. We got some strawberry and apple
Open
cake
it up,
somewhere,
open it
bro.
up, man. Open it up. It's behind you.
Let me just grab.
Yeah,
that.
open it up. So, with
Brought that. Know what I mean, co-op special, apple and strawberry lattice pie. Let's get it open, bro.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So anyway,
you have to just do it with your hand. But I'm not gonna have any. But I'm gonna have it around the office. I'm not big on strawberry, man.
You're not big on.
Nah, I've never been big on strawberry. Have some, bro. Have some.
Banging. I'm not going to be the only man to eat the lattice pie, bro, on the show. So let's get Nate on the job.
Nate's on it.
Yeah. Once Nate starts, mans will finish it up.
Nate, you have to start it.
There you go.
Right. So Ramadan TV's about.
Now I'll tell you what happened. Yeah. So
okay.
basically, I get this phone call. Yeah. Oh, well, you need a white guy for a show. Yeah. And I couldn't do it, so I sent brother Jawad to do it. Yeah.
Who's
and then,
black?
You're black, brother. Yeah. But he's brilliant for TV. Yeah.
Fine.
So then I got another phone call. Yeah. We need you to do a show. And it was late. I'd been at work. I had to start at 6 a.m. work, and it was going to go to like 3 p.m. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. And this is advice to everyone. Whenever good comes to you, don't close the door on it. Sometimes shaitan helps us make excuses not to do something. Tired, busy, this, that, and the other. You have to prioritize the khair. So I remember really weighing it up in my mind, should I do it, should I not? And I did it. I knew I was going to be tired. I knew I was going to be battered at work the next day, but I just went for it, akhi. And from that, one moment, so much khair has came. Like, look, I'm sitting here today. You wouldn't even want to know who I was, bruv, if I didn't do that one day.
Yeah.
Because I'd never got into the TV work that I did. So when I went, we had a good time, me and Jav. Actually, the studio was no bigger than this little bit here.
Really?
Actually, tiny thing, and it had a massive camera, yeah, that was poor quality. It was just,
Oh, man, my first ever TV job for in Islamic media anyway was, we got a call from Musa's dad, yeah, Musa Adnan, his dad called us.
Yeah.
And I hadn't been...
By the way, I've known Musa from way back. Like,
really?
I pulled him onto Hajj TV and...
No way.
Yeah, Ramadan TV. No, was he Ramadan? No, Hajj TV with him.
He must have been too young for Ramadan TV.
Yeah, he was like 16 when he came to Hajj
really?
TV, bro. Yeah, I think he was about 16, 15, 16, something like that.
I've only been for about 3 years. I've been now like in the Islamic media, and so about maybe like a couple of months in, I got a call from Musa's dad, who basically said, "Look, it's Ramadan time. We need your guys' help. So can you just come down to the studio?" So I'm thinking, I'm gonna be on telly. Like, yeah, it's a sick. Of course, we'll do it. Went down now, and he gave us a postcode. I'm driving to the postcode. We pull up, and it's just a garage in Wembley.
It's around the corner.
It's around the corner, but just a random garage, bro, like that you would drive down some alleyway. I'm thinking this is postcode. So we parked up, garage shutters come up, go in, and it's just the most raggo, like, it's like they built a TV studio inside a garage, bruv. Yeah,
there's quite a few round Park Royal way like that.
Yeah,
round Park Royal.
That's what it was. We got up there. It's the funniest thing because, so we go there we sit down. We don't know what we're doing yet. Turns out it's going to be an appeal, right? Yeah. So we're like, all right, cool. So Musa sat there, I'm sat there, Musa's dad sat there. We're thinking, all right, cool. The guy's counting us down. I'm just going to take the lead. 3, 2, 1. Musa's dad leads. He goes, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yeah, Islamic TV. He starts speaking Urdu, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
You can't speak
Urdu.
Urdu.
We're on Urdu. Actually, my Urdu is the worst, bro.
Go on, pop a little Urdu, man. Come on, bro.
I can't pop.
Show the viewers.
The viewers know, bro. So we were brought up in Punjabi.
I can see Chal Tika and all that, bro. I've got a few little bits and bobs, man. Jallo and all that, man. Jallo.
You
know what I mean? Tika and all that. That's it, bruv. Little Jarpinia and all that.
Jarpinia.
He passed me that. Why'd you say pie, bruv?
I don't know how to say pie, bro.
Come on, bro. There's certain words you got to know in all languages, bro. Pie's one of them. Bismillah.
I'll tell you what, I think there's a word that I don't know if anyone has in any language, and that's remote control.
Quite sweet.
Yeah, it's going to be, mate.
Mashallah.
You got a co-op nearby?
Huh?
You got a co-op nearby where you live?
No, yeah, it was on the way, bruv.
Oh, really?
I just pulled over, yeah.
May Allah bless you, man.
I mean, bismillah.
You're probably one of the few people who's brought something through when coming down to Special
Well, you got to bring something, man. If
Allah bless you.
just coming, yeah.
We're hosting you. We should be bringing you gifts, man.
Okay, I'm going to wait to the end, man. You got to pull something out, bro.
Yeah,
you got a few out. You got about an hour and a bit to sort it out.
Something will pop up. Don't worry. I got my eye on something.
I'm joking.
No. Bro, so that was my first one. So yeah, I know what it's like. Like it's not what it seems with telly, especially with Islamic media. It's very, very like shoddy a lot of the time.
Aki, that was probably in the better days when you went to that one in the little shed, man.
Yeah,
that was better days, bruv. I think Sheikh Adnan, may Allah bless him, he'll remember the studio in I forgot the name of that little area. It's right by the 406. What do you call it? The gyratory, man. I forgot what you call that here. Hanger Lane. Yeah. Right by Hanger Lane, there used to be one. It was at the bottom of this big office block. It was right at the bottom, and it was only a little tiny little room. I wonder if Adnan watched it. No, not Crown House, bro. Crown House is an upgrade, actually.
Okay.
This thing, it was in a beautiful building. Don't get me wrong, yeah? It was in a beautiful Wembley Point. No, not Wembley Point. I can't remember what it's called, yeah? But it was right on the corner of Hanger Lane. You'll see it. And at the bottom, they used to have a Press TV there and a few other little things, a little Shia news channel, yeah, promoting their well, I don't know. I don't know the rules of this podcast, yeah, but promoting their their smelly socks. And I went. The actual little studio was right there next to it, and so we used to do our little thing out of there, man. It was so tiny, actually. And I remember turning up, and it was Yusuf Chambers, and I was on the screen with Yusuf Chambers. We were just sitting there. Yusuf Chambers doing little drawings in that, bruv, to make me laugh. He was like drawing live on telly, and he was showing me, man. I was trying not to laugh, bro.
He's in Leicester nowadays, right?
Yeah, he's in Leicester. Yeah, man, I bless him, man. I used to like Yusuf, man. I reward him, man. Me and Jawad and Yusuf. And then we started doing Hajj TV as well.
I remember when I went down to Leicester a few years back.
Yeah.
I was with some brothers and they said, "Oh, we're just gonna jump on radio quick." Again, this was like really early days. Jump on the radio and we're doing this radio show with this guy, and then I find out later that guy whose radio show it was Yusuf Chambers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yusuf's lovely, man. He's
I don't know him too.
Yeah, he is.
We met I think at one time.
He's one of them few dudes you meet him and he is as he is. Like.
Oh really?
Yeah. Yusuf Chambers is Yusuf Chambers, bruv. Like he's not. You don't put a front on. I remember watching him one time. I was watching him do an appeal, and it was hilarious, bruv. He just literally said, "I don't want no more calls. I'm knackered." Like he didn't even want to be there, but he was just.
Well, you do get like that, don't you? We could talk about appeals all night.
You do, man. Bro,
appeals are very tough.
Look, what people don't understand, with an appeal is.
So we're talking right now.
I don't really want to go too much into appeals because it's over with. I want to forget it for this year. But
we're talking about TV. We're talking about the TV appeals that you see from like Asr time till Fajr, the charity appeals. That if you were watching Iman channel this past Ramadan, every night you either probably saw Farooq or myself.
Yeah, doing a charity appeal.
Yeah.
The thing is, brothers and sisters, all good is good, right? Everybody deserves their share. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will allocate it. Definitely. Whether I do it, you do it, whoever does it, yeah? But people want you to present, to do a good job, to show the viewers, to encourage them to spend. After doing it 2-3 times in a month, it gets...
Very difficult.
Yeah, not only that as well, like there's certain peels denote a certain style.
Yeah.
Like orphans. Orphans ain't a...
Yeah.
But yet they want that style.
Yeah.
A lot of the time because it looks fast paced, it looks busy.
Yeah.
And that. I'm one of the nights. I'm not going to mention what night it was. One of the nights I was literally on the screen with these brothers. I'm not going to mention if he was there. I'm not going to mention.
Okay.
Yeah. But we was doing an appeal, and I was just looking at the way the people were doing it, and I was like, "Use of robots." The guy, I counted in my head. The guy said the same thing about 5 times in 1 minute.
Yeah.
The same thing.
Yeah.
The same thing, Akhi. It was like a robot. And the brothers and sisters, the brothers and sisters, the brothers and sisters, the brothers and saying the same thing, same thing, bro. And I thought, he's like brainwashed.
Yeah.
You know, like you see them shows, you know, like their eyes are like glazed over. They don't even know what's going on. They're like robots, bruv. Yeah. Actually, that's what it looked like. And I felt sick.
Yeah, I said to the boy on our final appeal. I remember I gave one of the big producer a massive hug. He gave me a hug and he just. I was saying,
which producer was it?
Big AB.
What, Abu Bakr Patterson?
Yeah, what?
ABP, the legend himself. So by the way, I'm gonna tell you a bit about ABP, bruv, in this podcast.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I want to know. He's gonna jump on the podcast as well.
Actually, I've known Abu Bakr for a long time.
Yeah,
and I bless him. And I remember when I met him, he was a Jeeb, man. Go on, carry on. Yeah.
I basically he was producing a lot of the appeals, and so he saw me like my energy just dwindle and my enthusiasm go throughout the nights as we go on. And it's very hard to explain this feeling unless you've done the appeals, because to the viewers it might sound like you guys are meant to be there for charity, you're doing khair, like why is it that you are even being negative about it? But you have to bear in mind that try working from like a 30,
8 hours in front of a camera.
It's 8 hours in front of a camera,
yeah.
but you're there from 6 p.m. till 4 a.m. So that's a 11-hour day, and almost all of it is under really strong lights on camera and it's be high energy.
And with a dude in your ear.
With a man screaming in your ear at all times, and it's a night shift. So it's not just like doing a random night shift, but it's a night shift where you're turned on the whole time.
And then you got to do the school run in the morning.
Yeah, you got to school run in the morning. So doing them like for the entire month, it's tough, man. And look, we can go into politics and do like all of it, but we won't. The point is that Abu Bakr saw like, and I would explain things to him. I'd say to him, look, bro, I think after this year, I'm never doing an appeal again. And
But every year you feel like that.
yeah, every
bro.
year you feel that. And then the
every
next year comes and you see the opportunities. So what happened is, on the last appeal, bro, after we finished, that was, I think you were there for that one. Oh no, you left early. I think you wasn't.
No, I left.
can't
That
remember.
was the day I got ill.
Yeah.
I think that was
I
your
gave
last
him-
one,
I
wasn't
gave-
it?
yeah, I
Was it
gave-
Muntada?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave him a hug. I said bye to him and he gave me a hug, and he just like squeezed me, and he wasn't let go. And I was, it was like a different kind of hug. It was like the kind of hug where someone that really been
Yeah,
compassionate. He gave me a big hug, and he's like a father figure, man. Like he's like in the older generation for me anyway.
He's old, man.
and
He's real old.
Yeah, he's
that
not
guy.
that old. He's like,
yeah, he's
but
got
like the
grey
same-
hairs.
He's like the same.
He's old. His hair's coming out. Yeah.
He's like my mum's generation. So he gave me a hug, and then like he just said, bro, I really appreciate everything you've done this month. Thank you so much. And you know what, bro? Something like that made all of that. Well, I think just that hug at the end, for someone to say, look, I really appreciate all the effort that you put in. I know it's been tough. May Allah bless you. Make some eyes. He's still holding.
Yeah,
on to
yours
me,
that
speaking in my ear.
snowflake generation. Man needs a hug. Well done. A little pat on the back.
Yeah,
and that,
that's what I need.
Mashallah,
Yeah,
may Allah
yeah,
bless
yeah.
you, man.
And then,
Back in the day, you get a kick. You know what I mean?
and then I just went home happy. You know what I mean?
May Allah bless you, man.
I mean,
I'm joking.
Yeah, I know.
May Allah bless you, bro.
So
I just wanted to put the knife into your little moment of
you
love.
can. I'm used to it now.
Abu Bakr's lovely,
yeah, he's
man.
lovely.
He really. I've done enough productions with the guy, man. We've done ones where it's just me and him. We had to build a set out of paint and wood, like
Really?
nails. We made a whole set. Actually, we've done crazy things, me and Abu Bakr. But someone like him does appreciate the work that the presenters put in. Sometimes their job as well is unsung heroes, bro. Everything that we do, they're going through as well. The only difference between us and them is they can chill in the back. They ain't under no pressure of being on TV.
Yeah.
However, with someone like me on there, definitely they're feeling the pressure.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I push the buttons, man. I ignore people, pull the earpiece out.
I'll
I
be-
do whatever I want.
I started putting in a piece. You were a bad influence for me.
Actually, I'm a bad influence,
Yeah.
man. You don't want to go on
Because
there.
I started a very professional job at Iman Channel.
Oh, you did?
And then by the end of it,
I
was
pulled
pulling
the
my
rebel
earpiece-
out of you, bro.
Oh, bro,
I
I was
pulled that
pulling
rebel out of you,
I had Joan talking to me on my ear. I was just pulling it out, and then they were like, and then they started pranking me because they were like, if you're gonna pull an earpiece out, let's look what we're gonna do to you. So I put it in here and there, and it's madness. I tell you what though, bro, AB, I reckon hands down. I don't want to upset anyone, but I reckon he's the best producer I've ever come across.
He's
very good.
He's very good.
He's very, very good.
The
He's
thing is,
underrated.
with Abu Bakr, you can't put him, and I'm going to say this out of love to you about Abu Bakr, and he knows I'm speaking the truth. You can't put him on switching cameras. You can't put Abu Bakr switching cameras.
Oh really?
Bro, he falls asleep.
Oh really?
Yeah, but he's brilliant on the earpiece.
Yeah, he's very good.
Yeah, he comes with nice little bits,
Very
yeah.
good. And
Whereas
he's short
other
and-
guys,
he's short and sweet as well.
in terms of sharpness of the actual production,
Yeah.
theirs is very sharp. They
Yeah.
have less mistakes than Abu Bakr's one, yeah.
Yeah.
Why are we breaking it down on a podcast, man? May forgive us, yeah. But honestly, working in the back room is very strenuous. I've done it myself for a long time. I've produced shows with like those, bro. I know exactly what they're going through, and you don't want someone like me, especially when you're becoming a rebel as well. You don't want us
Yeah.
out in the front. Yeah, you
But
want a khadim, you want a server.
The other added pressure for them actually as well is that if the show goes bad, the buck actually falls on them, not on the presenter.
Definitely, yeah.
They're the ones who are going to get the blame. They're the ones who are going to ask
Of
questions,
course.
and so it must be tough for them because.
But I saved the day a few times with the old, you know what I mean, the old Ofcom and all that, bro.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I
once,
saved the
twice.
day a few
Yeah.
times, mate.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you
So
saved
that's how I get my brownie points back.
You saved
know
it
what
for
I
me
mean?
once.
Yeah, I
remember?
did. Yeah,
What did I
it's all
say?
good.
What did I say on the camera? I said, I started promoting the event.
Yeah.
I said, you can buy your tickets at.
No, it was something else you did. It weren't promoting the event. It was something else you did.
Nah, it was a Ramadan with.
That's not too bad. That's not much of an issue. That's not really saving. There was someone who I can't remember. They did a proper faux pas,
Oh,
but
really?
managed to cover it, man.
I had to a couple of those, but they were telling me like one guy. This was one day that you weren't there. One guy was like, he goes, at my house, we have the crates of that Costco water, and then in my ear they're like, and he's saying this really emotional story, bro. I think he's about to cry.
Yeah.
And in my ear they said, Faisal, you have to mention for Ofcom that there's other brands available.
No, but this is
and
the
I was
thing,
like,
yeah.
I can't. Like he's telling the story. He's like,
No,
you
you
know
don't-
what?
you-
And then I went. But just
The fact
cut you,
is,
just
yeah.
cut you in. There are other brands available. I just felt so unnatural to say it, bro.
Yeah. But you don't look the way that sometimes the emphasis is put on these Ofcom things. Now we're getting into a territory I really wanted to talk about.
Let's
yeah?
talk about it, man.
Because the Muslims today, we don't want to hamstring ourselves. What do I mean by that? If you cut the back of your legs, you can't stand up. And these sort of monitoring organizations, when you enter into their world in TV and especially when you're broadcasting to Sky or on terrestrial TV or Freeview, whatever, you're entering their rules, their domain. And for da'wah, you're hamstringing yourself, bruv. There's so much about Islam that we can't talk about and clarify because you're not allowed to. You're
But don't you think
yourself.
that to an extent that someone that we still need to have Islamic presence on TV, and so if that means we play by their rules,
Sure, I agree. There has to be, but we also need a wing that isn't hamstrung.
But because then the minute we start getting £100,000 fines from Ofcom every
That's my point.
You know what I mean?
Today, alhamdulillah, media stronger.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's definitely going that way, and there is definitely a need for an on Sky or whatever platform. Yeah, there definitely is a need for that. Yeah, but their role is as Iman Channel is filling. Yeah. It's just education, light entertainment TV channel. Yeah, so we need a wing, an online wing. Yeah, that doesn't conform to the mainstream TV rules that Ofcom implement, and have an online wing that's a bit more flexible and could talk about more pressing issues. Like an example, yeah? Today, bruv, I was watching a video online and it came up about gambling aware. Why are they advertising gambling aware, bro? Why?
Because gambling is causing so much issues.
But yet every other advert's a gambling advert, bruv.
Yeah, it's true.
So at the same time, they're advertising be aware of gambling whilst advertising gambling.
Yeah.
The point is, the money that's made from gambling, I remember reading an article in one of the online newspapers, I can't remember which one it was, yeah? They were talking about this woman who runs one of these big betting companies, yeah? Giza, she's like a billionaire now, or multi-millionaire. She's bought like a Thameside property,
Yeah,
you know, with a big garden, and it joins onto the Thames, and she's loving life, man. She's making an absolute fortune. Then you see the scumbags strolling around the high streets looking for something because they ain't got no money because they're on drugs and they're gambling.
Yeah.
It's feeding off the weakest, poorest people of society. Yeah. This is a huge social issue here in the UK right now. It's destroying people's families. Why is it the high street's dying out, yet more betting shops are opening?
Yeah.
Bruv, you can go down one high street where there would be no betting shops before. Now you've got 3, 4.
Yeah.
The only things that are surviving is charity shops and betting shops, bruv. Yeah, and grocery stores. Everything else is closing down, bruv. Why are betting shops thriving? Because people are getting more depressed. People are getting hoping and pinning everything on one big thing. There was an advert I saw the other day for like, bet against each other. You know, fed up of betting against the house, then you can basically, now they've got this new style of betting where you could bet against another person. Let's say you support your team and I support my team, whatever, and they're going to go against each other, yeah? I can put on this app, or do you bet this, and you can agree to it. You're all right, then you win more because there's you can do a bigger bet. I can bet like big money against you, and it's a bit of a better split, yeah, sort of thing. The point I'm trying to make is, our society is getting pulled into the dregs by these, what's allowed. This is allowed in Britain. You're allowed to think. Yet the government can see that there's a huge problem it's causing socially. Islam has a solution to this. I can't go now and make a TV show about it because I'm not allowed to. This is not in the remit of an Islamic entertainment TV channel. Yeah. I started showing them, actually, Islam has the solutions to all of your problems. The reason that we haven't had that chance to talk about it is because nobody's willing to do so. Yeah. And the ones that do speak the truth about it get shut down. Yeah. Yet with an online platform to set up specifically for this reason, we'll be able to give the point of view of Islam across political debates that occur, where they talk about certain issues that the country has. Islam always has a solution.
Yeah, well, I agree. I think that there's a level of our fitrah and everyone's fitrah knowing things that are right and wrong. And it comes to the same discussion when we speak about alcohol, in that, look, everybody knows you're not... You'll be crazy to not know that alcohol is an issue, widespread, in terms of drink driving, in terms of breaking up families and everything. But even if we just talk about alcohol for a second, everyone's aware of it, but nobody wants to like come forward and admit that actually cutting off alcohol completely would actually solve so many social issues. But the thing is financially it's so beneficial. And I remember listening to a talk where the teacher, the sheikh, he was saying that Islam doesn't say that all of these things or a little bit of them aren't good for you. Like, for example, having alcohol at certain times, like a glass of wine after your dinner, could be good for you. Gambling a little bit could be good for you because you could get some money, etc. But what Islam does is it cuts problems at its roots. And I think that's the benefit in it. And I think people's desires...
But this is well known about Islam.
Of course. Yeah. But people's desires stop them from admitting that actually the solution is, if I cut off alcohol, I'm talking about like non-Muslims here, if they say, if I cut off alcohol, it will actually be a big solution to help me with loads of social issues. And if people did that on a macro, that a lot of the social issues would be solved. I think people are aware of that, but they don't want to admit it. And secondly, as we know, it's making such a large amount of money for the economy, alcohol, tobacco. Why is it that tobacco is so bad for you, but yet it's sold so much? But yet at the same time, even though it's sold so much, it says on all the tobacco packets, smoking kills. It's such a contradiction. It's such a hypocritical thing to do, to sell someone something that's going to give them cancer and then write, this is going to cause you cancer on it. It's, if you really cared about your people, you would say this causes you cancer, so we're not going to give it, we're not going to sell it. Or why could you not make it? Because to say that, you can't say that it's oppressing people by making it illegal. Reason being is because they make weed illegal. You know what I mean? So they make loads. So many
they're going to put
it
on sweets now. You know that, innit? Sweet, sugary sweet snacks. They're going to take. They're going to actually start implementing it where all branding is removed, and they're going to place on it warnings.
Really?
Yeah, this has been talked about recently.
They have a sugar tax. If you go to Nando's now and you get Coke, they have to pay extra for it, for the sugar tax. You know that?
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so there's a sugar tax on quite a lot of things.
Well, they're gonna. But imagine that you're gonna have like on the front of it, you know, rotten teeth and that, and talking about diabetes before you buy your sweets. Yeah.
But I think there's a big difference between sweets and cigarettes. Though, like, I don't know if they should do that with sweets. Do you reckon that should be done?
Oh look, whatever way the country goes, you know, we have to conform, right? We're Muslims, yeah. We follow the law of the land. So I'm not bothered, to be honest. Yeah, I'm still gonna eat my sweets. If I want to eat sweets, bruv, whatever they put on the packet, it's not gonna deter me. Yeah. Same with the people who smoke. It's, you know, it doesn't really deter anybody. If you're addicted to smoking, you're addicted to smoking, bruv. Yeah, it's not really gonna deter you because of a picture of someone's, you know, or whatever, or the warning on the packet. Yeah. The point is, you talked about, you know, how dangerous alcohol is. This is legal in this country. I'm not talking about changing the law or even smoking. It's legal here. Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about
the damage you could. Drugs is illegal, bruv.
Yeah.
Actually, if I want to, I could go score anything probably within an hour. You go to the right place in any town and you can get anything you want. The point is that what's illegal isn't even working here. There's people who suffer with an addiction to heroin. This destroys families, bruv. Heroin destroys families, akhi. It ruins people, bruv. And you'll find a lot of the people selling drugs in your area are Muslims. We have huge social problems in as Muslims here in the UK. We have the solution to these problems, yeah? The fact is, Uncle G's as well allow their sons to sell this stuff. And allow their children to sell this stuff. Why? Because they're mutually benefiting from it. How many Muslims you know are doing some sort of fraud? Yeah. Just think in your own head. You know.
This is the thing that I get frustrated with the most, bro.
I want to not just come to the bring solutions to the problems of the UK. We need to start at home first, bro. We need to start with you people watching at home. How many of you are planning on cheating the system? I know.
Yeah.
You go to certain places now. We don't take card, bruv. Muslim business, why are you not taking card, Akhi? Yeah. What's the problem? Everyone's moved to electronic. Why are you not taking card? Oh, you know, Akhi, you want to cheat the tax man, innit? I say it to him straight. You're doing it to cheat the tax man. No. Yeah, you are. Don't give me that. Your card machine ain't working every time I come here, bruv. Yeah, if you want to cheat the tax man, say it. Yeah, and you know, but they won't. They'll never admit it. The point is, everyone's cheating. Now, I'm not saying because non-Muslims are cheating, you know, you feel like you should. How many people get a yard on rent and sublet it?
Yeah.
How many people are doing that? How many people have got a yard in their name, yeah, just so that they can buy it cheap when they're not entitled to it according to the law.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're married with children, whatever. There's loads of people that do these things. Now, to them, it's a personal thing. Now, I'm not really harming anyone. But it's barakat. You have no barakah.
Yeah,
When you
subhanallah.
start losing barakah, you're affecting the ummah.
Akhi, bro, I'm so with you, and this is one of the things that I struggle with the most. And not saying that I'm perfect at all, but you do.
None
see,
of us are perfect,
but you
bro.
do see this thing where it's like,
But
some things are okay. So it's like not really, because it's stealing is stealing. So something like I say stealing is stealing because there's other examples where it's like
Stealing is different. I'll explain why. The Prophet ﷺ said, a Muslim, he might steal. He might do that. A Muslim, he might commit murder, even. Someone who believes in Allah, submits himself to Allah, worships Allah, may commit murder. A'udhu billah. It's a major sin. But a Muslim doesn't what, bro? You know the hadith. A Muslim doesn't lie. When you're committing fraud, you're lying.
Yeah, sahih.
Stealing through lying
Subhanallah.
as well.
Subhanallah.
So you're lying. The Muslim doesn't lie. This is a big thing people have forgot about. The Prophet said it. The Muslim might slip into these other sins, lying, zina, stealing, and a Muslim might do these, murder, but a Muslim doesn't lie. Muslim might do it, but a Muslim doesn't lie. The point is, brother, the lying has become so epidemic amongst our communities.
I hate that.
And the worst one is the drug money. People look up to that. Our youth, how many of them look up to a man with a fat car? He's 21, 22, never worked a day in his life. Man, you ask a man to dig a hole, he don't even know how.
Yeah.
He don't know how to use a shovel. I've seen someone struggle to dig a hole because he don't know how to use a shovel, bruv. You don't know, you got to put your foot on it, you stamp, you dig, and then you wiggle it a bit, and then you know what I mean? Have you ever dug a frozen ground?
No, frozen ground.
It's rough.
What do you mean a frozen ground?
Like when it's cold, you know, a man's laughing, yeah? You know what I'm talking about, yeah? When the ground is really cold in the middle of the winter and you got to dig a hole. Bruv, it's hard.
Yeah.
But after technique, bit of hard work, you can do it. Sahaba used to dig in the blazing heat. They would dig a hole. They dug trenches, akhi. They went through a lot to bring us this religion. And when we get it, what do we do? What do we do, bruv? Well, it's like we wipe ourselves with the religion, the way that we go about ourselves. There's some brothers, you meet them, they're very, like proud. They say they love Rasulullah. We love the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yet they'll fight another Muslim brother. Akhi, how many of these stabbings go on? And when I read it, Umar, Muhammad, Abdullahi, all being stabbed or stabbing. These acid attacks, when you saw the arrest names, a few of them had Muslim names, akhi, from these moped gangs. Where's the mums and dads? Where are the people to deal with these issues, akhi, that the Muslims are facing? The people today, the scholars and the people of knowledge, need to get out of the masajid. We need to form groups that take these lot and deal with them, akhi. Because their way don't work. Akhi, you can ring the old bill and say there's a guy there shotting. Man's still shotting the week after, the week after that, the week after that. Some people come to you, akhi, you can't snitch. Now, I've never snitched on anyone. Alhamdulillah. I've never told the police on nobody. I've never rung them. I've never said, because I've never known enough to ring, right? But the point is, it's not in my position. I never grew up like that. I never grew up talking. My lips are sealed, yeah? But when I see my community destroying the position of the Muslims, how can I go to my local councillor? How can I go and stand and speak to the politicians and tell them Islam is the right way when most of the criminals are Muslims? Or at least a good portion in my area, at least where I live, are Muslims. The people bringing the drugs in are Muslims. The people selling the drugs are Muslims. And the drugs cause most of the other crimes in my area. The people who rob cars, who break windows, who burgle houses, it's for what? Drugs. Because only the lowest of society are prepared to do that. It's very rare you find like a legit man with a suit, with a good education going around burgling houses, right? You ever seen an educated man burgle a house?
Never.
Never. You never see a man roll up in a suit and go and burgle a house, right? It's always one's in a tracksuit with track marks on his arm. Yeah, walking around like his eyes are like that and his teeth are falling out. It's him. Why? Because he's a drug user or he's an addict of some description. And the reason he's an addict is because his name's Mo. Mo's shot in, but really his name's Muhammad. And Muhammad's got gear. He's got brown. He's shot in a nice bit of brown. Yeah, come. And he'll take things instead of money. He'll take a TV. He'll take a camera. He'll take a phone. He'll take something else instead of the thing. This is a problem. The Muslims need to clean our areas up. This is not something the police are going to do. You can tell the police, yeah, till you're blue in the face. They know half the dealers, akhi. They really do. But the dealers have deals with them and that on the side. Akhi, there's corruption. Yeah, people think that Britain is free of corruption. No, Britain's not free of corruption, man. Bro, I could probably. I don't want to talk too much. There's people I know for a few pounds. I can get anyone's details of anywhere in the country because they've got access to the police system for a few quid. You can find out anyone. Once you can find out where a man lives, what's he got over you? Yeah, you shot me in, mate. I'll come to your yard. I'll burn your yard down. I'll kill your kids. Whatever. Once you get them sort of threats, you don't want to do nothing. Mm. There was no jokes with Islam. If you were a sinful person, had addiction, you hid it away from the people, man, I'll forgive you. But when you're brazenly walking around, driving fat cars, showing off, telling people you're a bad man, and your name's Muhammad, yeah, and you're walking around like you own the place. What Muslim brother does this, man? Man is not just an oppressor, he's allowing oppression, he's encouraging oppression, he wants people to go out and steal to bring him stuff so he can give them their little bit of crumb. And that crumb lasts a day. He knows they're back the next day with more money. You make loads of money. The people, they call it a line. You ever heard of that? A line. It's like man's got a good line. I'm pulling 5 G's in a week. Shall I tell you a true story? Before I became Muslim, I was offered an opportunity to take a line. And that line was pulling in a couple of bags a week, £1,000. I never really spoke about this, but I'm prepared to do so on this podcast today. And my option was take the line or become Muslim. And I chose Islam. And I upset some people. But I could have handled it. No problem. That lifestyle, no problem. Anyone can live like that. A scumbag. Anyone can shot. Anyone can pull a trigger. Anyone can pull a knife. If you've got a big enough mouth, you can make anyone afraid of you, yeah? Especially if you pop one off next to their car, like, boom, what are you going to do? Boom, boom, boom. They'll get shook, man. Put his tyres out, yeah? Shoot his windows out. People get scared of you if you act like a big man, yeah? Do you know what's really hard? To pray Fajr. To get up and worship your Lord, Allah. To be kind to your neighbour. To cook food for them. To go knock your neighbour's door. To cut your old lady's grass down the road. This is hard graft. This is how Muslims are. You know, to do the real difficult things is what takes you to Jannah. Because what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surrounded in Jannah was difficult. And what takes you to Jahannam is easy. Bro, me and you, right now, if we were people with no iman, no fear of Allah, we could easily go set something up and make money. I could make money like that. Yeah. Doing it haram. Anyone could do it haram. People today, even, and I'm not getting into fiqh discussions, but people can, you know, they do haram mortgage after haram mortgage after haram mortgage. Their whole business, they started it with a haram loan. Yeah. You see man smashing it and you think, wow, how did he do that? How did he get that far, man? Wow. Like, and they never say the truth. Yeah. That either mum and dad set them up. Yeah, they won't tell you that. They ain't going to say mum and dad gave me a big chunk. Which is no shame. What? No shame in it. Yeah. But they'll make out it was through their effort and you think, how did he do it? And then when you find out in reality, it was either drug money. I know one guy set up everything he's got. He's gone halal, as he says, but everything was seeded with drug money. He wouldn't have nothing. If he had to do it like a normal person does from the beginning, from the scratch, with not a penny, it's really hard. Without a loan from the bank, really hard. To do everything yourself is really hard. And may Allah bless you brothers and sisters out there doing it pure halal. Not mixing it up. Not a little bit haram to get to the halal. No. The ones doing it straight and laced. This is the difficult, and yous are the ones who are going to collect on a day.
But that's where the barakah is, isn't it?
That's where the barakah is. And this is what we seek and what
and
we do.
And with barakah, bro, it's barakah is not based magical, on numbers. Bro. Yeah. Barakah is not based on numbers.
Not in haram magic. It's like, you know, when you give money to someone.
Yeah.
Fi sabilillah, you donate, bro, sis, that feel, that's barakah.
Yeah.
That feeling when you feel good.
And you really don't actually see that money go, bro. You don't feel that money
never goes. Yeah. Never goes.
And it's amazing to see that, man, because barakah is a thing that is so difficult to explain. But it's a situation where a person could be earning £5,000 a week, or a person could be earning £1,200 a month. But the one, if there's barakah in that £1,200 and there's not in that £5,000 a week, that £1,200 is going to take you a lot further in both your dunya and your akhirah. Yeah. That's what barakah is. And it's barakah is something you can't really explain. You can't explain the feeling of it. But if you've experienced it and you put your trust in Allah, then that barakah is all you need. It's all you need, bro. Subhanallah. It gets you flowing through things. Yeah, man.
I've seen times, well, I know of people who've seen times, should I say, where you've had nothing, but you're doing everything legit, and Allah finds a way for you.
Yeah,
Allah
Allah
subhanahu wa
facilitates that.
ta'ala finds a way
Allah
for you, man.
facilitates.
There's been times when I've really, when people have really struggled and they're, family's struggling, your whole struggle, and you got pressure. That's another thing, This dunya causes pressure on you,
so here.
especially in the UK. Sometimes you see a picture of a man in the desert or struggling away. Yeah, his struggle's got to get water. He's got to give a bit of water to the plants, bit to the animals, bit to the family. He's boiling simple food. He's got just rice. Man's got a fat smile on his face. Yeah. He's like that, big grinning and that, yeah? Why? Because he's got barakah in his life. Do you know what I mean? There was one brother used to talk about this uncle. He used to live in Pakistan or something, yeah? Man had 2 wives, couple of goats and a few chickens. Yeah. That's all he had. The chickens laid their eggs. He gets up, he cracks the eggs, he makes a little omelette and that. And he does a goat a year or whatever, a goat every month or whatever, yeah? Simple life. 2 wives, both happy. He lives in 2 little mud huts. He's got 2 little cheeky mud huts. And a little bit of land to grow crops on. That's it. That's his life. Simple life. Yeah. The Sahaba, radiallahu anhum, may Allah bless them all, their lives were very simple, but hard working, hard graft, sacrifice. They lived with barely anything in their back pocket. Yeah, some of them were really poor, like really poor. I remember, I think it was Abu Hurairah, radiallahu anhu. He went without food. He used to get really dizzy. He'd walk following the Prophet ﷺ. Because one time it was either the tabi'in or another companion. I don't want to get in too much of the finer details. You make a mistake on these sort of things, people write all comments about it. Oh, he made a mistake. I don't want to make mistakes, but it was
the freshly grounded listeners.
Yeah, the freshly grounded's all right, yeah?
Yeah,
right, mashallah, yeah?
They're lovely.
So, Abu Hurairah, he was asked, how comes you're narrating so many hadith and you were only with the Prophet for like 3 years? They were questioning, where are all these hadith coming from that other people haven't heard and you're the only one saying them? It was like an accusation almost. Yeah. Questioning accusation, yeah? Abu Hurairah, he said, subhanallah, man, bless him, he said, while other people were busy with their businesses and at home with their families, Abu Hurairah used to follow Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam with an empty stomach. Abu Hurairah, he was from the Ahlul Sufa. Yeah, not the Sufis. Let's make that very clear, brothers and sisters, not the Sufis. But Ahlul Sufa. These were the people who used to live behind the masjid of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam in a small little hut. There was about 70 of them, I think, in one narration. And these were people who were very poor. And they would come, most of them being muhajirun, or muhajirin, excuse me, they would come from outside of Medina and they'd have nothing. But they would work and they would collect wood and they would do simple things to make enough to survive, And he was one of them. He was a very poor man, but he had a very good memory. He used to review whatever hadith he learned from the Prophet ﷺ in the night. So he barely slept as well. Abu Hurairah was a blessing for this ummah,
And look now how many hadiths have been narrated by him.
How many hadiths? Look at the barakat of his work. The reason I'm mentioning this is they went through a lot. And we could mention so many stories of the Sahaba. One of my favourite topics is the Sahaba. Yeah. I love them so much because they're an inspiration. They're not a Rasul. They're not from the Anbiya. Why I mention that, brothers and sisters, is because the Anbiya are special. You hear stories of what the Anbiya went through and you think, wow, this is beyond human capabilities. Yet with Allah's support, anything can happen, right? But the Sahaba, they were not of the Anbiya. They weren't people who received wahi directly. They got it from the Rasul himself. So they were normal humans. The Prophet ﷺ was a human as well, but he was one who received the wahi. That separated him from us. And he's the best of creation. So sometimes you hear of the way of the Prophet ﷺ, and it's just so amazing. He was standing there, his feet would crack. All night. From the hadith of Aisha, she said that the Prophet ﷺ would stand one night. He was standing for so long that the heels started to crack. So she said to him, "O Messenger of Allah, how comes you spend so much time thanking Allah when Allah's already forgiven your past and your future sins? Everything's forgiven for you, O Messenger of Allah. Why are you spending? Come to bed, basically. Come relax." Yeah. And Rasul ﷺ said, "Should I not be a grateful servant?" Yeah. Now, how many of us can, say that we would, if we had the opportunity to relax? But the Sahaba, they were ones who were guaranteed paradise and they still worked. Yeah. Umar, one of them, a great example. Uthman, another one, a great example. Guaranteed paradise. Yet still carried on working. They worked their fingers to the bones to bring us this message, brothers and sisters. The reason why I'm mentioning this is that how we treat Islam. Like when you get a little bit of knowledge and you get a little bit of iman, I see people swan about like they're Sheikh al-Islam.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in an insulting way, like that they give fatwa, they go out their position. They don't, yeah. But it's not something that you earned. You have no right to it. It's Allah gave it to you. And when you called Muhammad, and when you have these sort of names, beautiful names that the Sahaba had and the Prophet ﷺ himself had, you have an innate responsibility. And when we stop being responsible Muslims, and when we stop, like an example, yeah? You go on the newspaper, pretty much any day of one of these main newspapers, you go through it, you'll find some crime done by some Muslim. They just love to report a Muslim criminal, yeah? And his name will be Muhammad, like these gangs of people who did play around with kids. So these guys would do that. These terrible Muslims, old grown men, yeah, who are behaving nothing like a Muslim should, but they carry the name Muhammad. And when they commit the crime, straight away, bruv, the first thing people say, these Muslims. Is that a swear word? I don't know. Yeah, it's all right, I think. I say it quite often, but I got told off once. Oh, you shouldn't.
I think that is a swear word. I think
it is, yeah. Yeah, it comes from Bloody Mary, I think. It's an alcoholic drink. That's what I always thought. Anyway, yeah, but they say these ruddy. Is that better? Ruddy Muslims. These ruddy Muslims, they're like this, they're like that, blah, blah, blah. All because the name you carry denotes Islam. People immediately associate you with being a Muslim. Oh, you're Abdullah, are you? Oh, yeah, you're one of them. So straight away you're carrying and whenever a Muslim commits a crime, you're bringing Islam into it, whether you like it or not. So you're bringing us down. If you've got a criminal child, change his name. If you want to live like a non-Muslim, change the name. Call yourself Bob, Dave, Sean, yeah, or whatever, Gertrude, yeah, Sindhu, whatever, yeah, another non-Muslim name. Bring a non-Muslim name, yeah, Ganesh, whatever, yeah. Call yourself something else. Don't call yourself Muhammad. Don't call yourself Mo. Give yourself a non-Muslim. When you get caught, change your name by default. So if you don't want to bring Islam, then change your name. Don't behave like a low life and have a name like Muhammad. Change your name by default. If you want to be a drug dealer, change your name. Change your religion. Become something else. Leave everything. Because you're destroying the view of Islam. Change your name at least. At least that way when you get caught, because inevitably you will, yeah? At least when you get caught, you're not going to bring Islam into it. It's a big problem. Whenever I'm giving da'wah, I know, alhamdulillah, I've been doing da'wah here and there for a long time. A lot of the problems we have is people believe we're evil because of what the newspaper portrays us as. And we have nothing to stand on. Because it is true, half of it. Yeah, the criminals are Muslims, in my area specifically. I don't know, even I know around this area as well, where we are right now. A lot of the people, if you want to go pick up something, drugs, you're going to be picking it up off a Muslim, maybe a Somali brother, maybe a Pakistani brother. But you're going to be picking it up off someone who's probably Muslim. You've got like a 90% chance of being a Muslim. Because they're the ones who got the contacts, they're the ones who bring the stuff in. It's really bad. I know I'll keep going back to this, yeah, but it's a really big problem that we have. We need to fix it. Yeah. And this takes guts, this takes courage, this takes a plan. This takes not... A lot of people talk about unification. You know, the Muslims, we need to unite, brother. You know, no, we don't. No, we don't. We don't need to unite on anything. The Sahaba were small in numbers at the beginning, yet Allah still gave them victory. The numbers is not where we're strong. It's our adherence to the way of the Prophet ﷺ and his companions. That's where we get our strength from. And being brave, being strong and brave, but not being cowardly or always making excuses. Sometimes you've got to take that leap of that gutsy move. You've got to do that gutsy move. Like, if your area is full of crime being done by Muslims, you need to go to the Uncle G's and tell them. Like, if you know the son, go to the dad. Yeah. And tell the dad, because normally dad's slippers enough, yeah, he can make man's change. Yeah. But if dad's corrupted and is happy for the son to be a criminal, then you need to go elsewhere. Like, these need to be formed strategies done with scholars and with consultation made with shura groups that set up and change things. This is my ideal. Hopefully, if Allah allows me to gain knowledge, and maybe my position will change as knowledge gets more. I don't know. I'm an ignorant fool, yeah, in a lot of it. But my heart tells me that I need to do something to change the position of the Muslims in the UK. We need, like I said, a branch that promotes Islam. And we also need a branch that changes the Muslims. Yeah, and it has to be both. You can't do just one. You know, you've got the Eman channel and other sources of education and guidance for the Muslims, but for the most part, these lot preach to the converted. So already Muslims, true. So you're educating already Muslims. Yeah. You've got some people who have their Islam, their version of Islam is, if you give the bir sab, everything's cool, man. Wipes all the sins away type thing. They've almost got like this, like, you know, go do confession and you're sorted. Yeah. You go to bir sab, chuck bir sab a few quid, and bir sab will get things deleted for you. Yeah, because he's that close to Allah. Yeah, he'll go. There's one story of the sheikh. He can, you know, erase what's on the sacred tablets that's with Allah. Like this sort of nonsense that people have in their belief, brother. You know, in this country, it's unfortunate, but there's people like that who literally claim this. Oh, I'll delete what's in the sacred tablet, and you know, this is cheap. You know what's with Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, the sacred tablet, Allahul Mahfuz. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Yeah, forgive me. You know about this? No. Everything Allah Subhanahu wa Taala told the pen to write.
Yeah. And the pen said, "What shall I write?" And then Allah said,
He told it what to write until the day of judgment. So yeah, that is the sacred tablet. That's the sacred tablet. Yeah. What the pen wrote on. Yeah, that is.
I didn't know that's what.
Yeah, but the people claim this. Yeah. Unfortunately, insane people believe it, and they go and they commit all sorts of sins, and they'll go to him and chuck him a few quid. And that gets deleted off his thing. This is the point. We don't need to unite all the Muslims together, yeah? But we need a strong voice on Islam, and we need a strong unity from us, from those who practice, the ones who are cool. If we can have a group in each area, we don't have to have all the Muslims in that one area, but just one strong group who can make a difference, make a change, brave, strong. And there's a position for everyone. Like maybe me and you, we're like callers, or maybe even less I am, yeah? I'm less than that, yeah? But there's some people who are the financiers of the ummah. If you've got big business, you're making a lot of money, your job isn't to live a fat life. That's not why Allah gave you the money. Allah gave you the money to support the Muslims. That's how it works. If you watch how the Sahaba were set up, there were some who had money. Yeah. And they supported everything. Yeah, the framework came from them.
And others were talented poets.
Everyone had their role to play. And like you said, the poets. Yeah, so you got your media wing. You need a media wing, and this needs to be organised. It can't be that like Freshly Grounded. Freshly Grounded needs to be under an umbrella organisation, not because Freshly Grounded shouldn't have autonomy over what it does. You should be able to do what you need to do, yeah? This is your field at the end of the day. However, you should be answerable to an organised Islam with a set amir and so on and so forth. Why? Because this is how it's always worked. So that you then are functioning according to a set plan that you're part of, that you have shura in, that you talk to this head group and they give you advice on what you need to do and where we need to go. Then when we've got, say, not just Freshly Grounded, but all of the Islamic podcasts, when we're all on the same page, we all agree, and we're all under one thing, then we can have organised push. Okay, this week, guys, we're going to talk about this. Everyone needs to start pushing it in their podcast. This is how we become organised. This is how the Prophet ﷺ organised. There's some people who will operate on the other side of the fence. There will be people who will be feeding information to this unified group. Yeah, so that we've got people who are doing research so that you won't have to.
Is that realistic, though? Is that something that you think they could be?
Oh, 100%. This is how Islam works. What do you mean realistic? This is how Islam works.
I'm aware that's how Islam works, but I mean, like, realistic.
There'll be people who join the party as it was, and there'll be people who won't. Yeah. Simply. That's why you can't expect everybody to do it. Yeah? But if you join that party, that's where the reward is. If you stick to that main body, this is what it's talking about, sticking to a jama'ah. We need to form a jama'ah. And it can't be necessarily a secret jama'at but you know, nobody knows about. It's weird. It's never going to work. It has to have an identity. It has to have a framework. It has to have a known. That way we can start taking away. Because like any Tom, Dick and Harry, you can now come and talk about Islam. Look at me. I'm talking away. Bruv, I could sit and talk about any sort of nonsense. No one can say nothing to me. Yet when you got a set group and a set body, if it's not coming from them, then it has no credibility.
It's like the Ofcom of it.
Of the Muslim world, yeah? Totally, right? Let's say if I set up a seminar and I'm talking about, you know, a new secret pill, yeah? That if you take it, bruv, you're going to be super fit, super strong. You can run for longer. Yeah, you sleep less and it's better for you. You know, you only need 1 hour sleep a day, but it's the best sleep you'll ever get. You'll be able to lift double what you, and all you got to do is take this pill once a day, yeah? I'll set up this seminar. Bro, I'll get shut down in a minute. Because it's waffle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I did make such a super pill, then one of these big organisations would buy it off me and bury it away somewhere. Because it's, you know, the point is I'm making is you can't just go around doing anything in this country when it comes to health or other things like law. I can't go around talking about, you know, claiming I'm a police officer. I can't put on a police suit and go, what are you doing? I'll get done for fraud. If I claim to be a doctor, a medical doctor, and I'll give him medical advice or I perform a procedure without the right qualification, I can go to prison. This is fraud and this is, you know, endangering people's lives. The point I'm making, when we're talking about people's akhirah, there needs to be a set group that you can't just go around talking about Islam. Because then when these fools do, who start talking about, you know, oh, well, you know, I'm going to say it, bruv, forgive me, but some people will say, oh, homosexuality is permissible in Islam, like completely legit, yeah? Then if someone says that and I Google that and I'm looking for support in that, I'll say, yeah, look, Muslims believe in it. And then someone comes along and says, no, we believe something's different. As an example, we believe it's, oh, sorry, bruv, I don't know what I did there. We believe that it's sinful. It's haram. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala dislikes this behavior. And this is forbidden in Islam. And it could lead to you going to the hellfire. And someone's saying the opposite. Then... And they're allowed to. That's the thing. They're allowed to say it. You can say whatever you want. I can say that Islam, you know, is this, that, and the other, and no one can say nothing. I can start making video podcasts tomorrow about Islam, telling people Islam is this, that, and the other. And where's the proof? Where's the? I don't need to. There's no set. Whereas if we have a set body that actually, you know, anything to do with this thing, it has to come from there. Otherwise, it's not credible. Let's make a credible group that makes the decision. I'm not saying I have to be part of it or you have to be part of it, but we need to be organised. And like you said, not everyone's going to join. Let's say 10% of those with power. Like I was told about, there's recently a group of a new Muslim group, or trying to unify the new Muslim groups. They want to have an online platform. You know about this. We was talking about it in Ramadan, yeah? But there's a new Muslim platform. I don't want to mention the name of them. There's a new Muslim platform. They're going to have an online system where people can register the Shahada, so we can have a rough guess of how many Muslim people are coming Muslim, so on and so forth, yeah? But they went to a certain groups, and some of them joined, and a lot of them didn't. Even some big groups didn't. No, we don't want to be part of it. Why? If it brings a benefit to the Ummah, why are you not going to be part of it?
Yeah.
And it's up to you, though. You could do whatever you want. But Allah's only going to bring in who He wants. And there's blessing in it. Why? Because you're doing it for the sake of Allah. It's not for me to have the power, for any one individual to have the power, but rather to have an organised, concerted effort to promote Islam properly. That's why we have these eman channels and podcasts and things like that, so we can promote Islam properly. I'm not saying I know anything about Islam. I'm as ignorant as they come. But I love the idea of Islam. And I want that to be the ideal way in which we have Islam is promoted and preached in the UK. You know?
Yeah, I think that there's a...
Sorry, I went on a rant there.
No. I think that it's a difficult task though, and that it's an idealistic view.
It's idealistic.
Yeah.
It's not difficult. It's can people let go of their egos?
Yeah.
Enough.
Well, ego is a huge issue, man.
It's huge.
Ego is a massive issue just in general, even like, and I think that's one of the good things that when a person starts practicing Islam or a person becomes a Muslim, that you notice it remove their ego, the ability to like speak to anybody and not look down at people, to know that Allah has Allah has created this person, which means that Allah values them enough to create them as a human. I should value this person. I should give them a smile. I should greet them. That's one of the things that I learned kind of the most in practicing, is seeing this like removal of ego in people who you may sometimes actually see an ego in.
Yeah.
I'm interested to talk to you about about family as well.
Cool. Whatever you like.
I know that you're a father and stuff. So how was that journey? How is that being kind of like going from? And I know you're more than welcome to be reluctant to talk about it. But you know, from going from becoming a Muslim to getting married, I know that especially. How old were you when you got married?
24, I think.
Which is young.
23,
especially
24.
especially in British culture, it's young. In Pakistani culture, not so much. It's like the normal age to get married. Was it alert? Like how was that even processing? Like being like, look, it's time to get married.
Well, when I got married to my wife, may Allah bless her, and she's brilliant, man. Like my best friend. I'm really
You need that, man.
blessed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, we get on so well. Pure jokes, man. I'm not going to lie. We joke a lot. We have a good laugh, man. I don't want to reveal too much, but like we just joke a lot, man. We have bare jokes. But my wife, she already was previously married. Yeah. So let's say I moved into a pre-prepared family when I got married. So and then I had my son Abdullah and whatnot. But I consider that I have a daughter as well and a son. That's who I grew up. They grew up with me. Yeah, akhi, to be honest, it's half your deen, right? Marriage. That's what everybody says. That's what the Prophet said.
Yeah.
But you don't really understand why it's such until you get married. You have your ups and downs, bruv.
Yeah.
There's going to be times when, people love to talk about love and all this sort of stuff, yeah? Love's just a feeling, bro.
Yeah.
Sometimes you feel angry, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What, when you're angry with someone, you're going to say you love you, but no. Because when you're angry, you're angry.
Yeah.
When you love them, you love them. When you're lusting after them, you're lusting after them. These are all feelings and emotions. But marriage in Islam, or nikah, is an agreement. It's something different. See, I love Islam for the fact that its foundation is always solid. It's not based on love. Marriages are not based on love, bruv. If you base it on love, love can go.
Yeah.
Therefore, the marriage, you're going to end the marriage because you don't feel in love anymore? I've heard people say this. One great example is from Umar, radiallahu an. There was a woman who said, I don't love my husband anymore. He said, and what marriage is based on love? It's based on agreement. It's a nikah, it's an agreement.
Yeah.
Right? You can love someone and not love someone after. It happens. You could be laughing at someone's joke a minute, and then they say something too far, and you get angry with them.
Yeah.
Like people's emotions change. But marriage in Islam, may Allah bless the people, yeah. Because if you base it on, if you base your marriage on your agreement to obey Allah and His Messenger, and any problems you have, you refer back to Allah and His Messenger, and you fulfill the rights or the responsibilities you have to one another, khalas, man, you'll have success. Simple as that. When you do nikah, you have the opportunity to add in any specific things you like, women and men. Yeah, some women, they love to have a nikah al-misya.
What does that mean?
Nikah al-misya is where you remove some of the rights.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
That someone has. Now, they love to talk negatively about it because you hear of stories about men who have this nikah, where they'll have a second wife or a third wife, whatever, and the woman will give up some of her rights. So, okay, you don't need to provide a house for me, this, that, and the other. And they get really upset. Oh, blah, blah, blah. But women do it all the time. They say, oh, you can't marry another woman. It's nikah al-misya. You're taking away man's right to marry again. But if the husband accepts that, khalas, man, it's in the nikah. Boy, you can't get married again, simply. The point being is, it's based on a solid foundation. If your agreement is this thing and that thing, khalas, you agreed to it. That's what your marriage is based on then. It's a set principles and rules that has been divinely revealed from the Lord Most High. Makes things so easy, bruv.
Yeah.
That's why and you have times when you don't get along. Definitely, man. There'll be times I'm fuming, yeah? Now I'll just start laughing. Because it's based on a...
I don't see you as a crier. I
Yeah,
can't ever
yeah.
imagine you crying ever.
No? What if I poke myself in the eye?
Yeah, only something like that. Or you're cutting onions.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I was cutting onions the other day, bruv.
You
I
got-
followed this, I Googled this method a couple of months back, cut it without crying, yeah? Because when when you're doing a salad and that, yeah, you got to do bare
Can
onions,
you make a
bruv.
salad?
Well, I can cook, man. Although I don't make salad. But sometimes I'll chop the onions. But the other day I was making a lasagna.
Okay.
So I was cutting the onions and I was following the route. He said, "Oh, don't cut the root. That's where it bleeds." Did it still? My eyes was streaming, bro. Crying my eyes out.
Yeah, I cut some onions last night. I made a salad last night.
Was it good?
It was
Bro,
my first time-
why are you not bringing this salad here today, bro? That's the question.
It
Man
was my
makes the salad. Don't bring it.
It was my first time making it. I think it was quite good, but I put too much of something in. I don't know what. It's maybe cumin or maybe chili powder. I put too much of one of the spices, and so it's a bit. It's taking the balance off a bit. But other than that, it's very nice. Yeah, it was a keema.
Keema.
Yeah, nice minced meat.
I'm
and
partial
cheese.
to a keema, bruv. What,
Yeah.
are you talking lamb keema?
It was beef. I didn't know
Beef keema? Okay,
I didn't
beef's
know-
good.
I
Beef's
didn't know.
good.
I didn't know. Because like I said, it was my first time. I just went and picked up some keema, like from the butchers. And then when I rang my brother, I was like, "Yo, bro, this is what I'm planning to do. Do you reckon this is a good idea?" Because he's a really good cook. So I just like ran through my method. He was like, "Yeah, it sounds good." He was like, "Is it beef or lamb?" I was like, "I don't know. I didn't even think about that at all." So I looked at it. I thought keema was keema. I looked at it and said, "Oh, it's beef." He goes, "Oh, I would have gone for lamb, but
Yeah, lamb's got a bit more flavour to it.
really,
Yeah, but
I'll
beef,
try with lamb next
beef's
time."
very flexible. Beef you can get away with, flavouring it however you want. Lamb leans towards certain flavours,
So when you're making a lasagna, you'll use lamb.
I didn't at all this month.
Okay.
And I used lamb twice this month. Because lamb, I never had a lamb lasagna. A lamb lasagna, I called it.
Would you normally have a lasagna, vegetables or beef?
The beef.
Is that what
Normally-
a general lasagna
Generally,
is?
it's beef as far as I'm aware. You can even mix in a bit of pork in the old days, yeah, when you're a non-Muslim. You could put pork and whatnot in it, yeah. But it like as a lasagna, yeah, but tends to be beef. Tends to be beef.
When you said you cooked lamb about twice a month in this month, what did you make?
Two lamb lasagnas. Lamb lasagnas.
Oh,
I call them.
okay. So you didn't make
By the way, that's trademarked, yeah. No one can go
Oh,
around and
you-
start claiming they got the lamb lasagna. That's my thing. Yeah.
Is that your best dish? The lamb?
No.
What's your best dish?
What?
Because I know you're into cooking.
My best dish,
Yeah.
I would say my chicken soup, my cream of chicken soup, man.
Really?
Boy, it's brilliant.
Really?
Ugh, it's deadly, bruv. It's deadly.
I'm intrigued to try Sheikh Wasim's chicken pie.
I am as well, man. But I know look, if Sheikh Wasim's listening to this, Sheikh, I know my cream of chicken pie is going to be better than your chicken pie. Trust me on that one.
I'm gonna cut just that bit up and send it to him. Yeah.
Go on then, do it.
Yeah,
Do it. My chicken
You have words
pie.
for you, bro.
Akhi, I'm ready to have a little cook-off
He'll
with the
accept the
chef, man.
challenge.
Akhi, if you wanna do it under the freshly grounded, bruv, man's gonna freshly ground down his pie, bruv, and show him how a real pie's made. Bruv.
Subhanallah.
You know what I mean? I know how to cook a pie, Akhi.
What was I gonna say? If you were to have a salad, what, do you prefer boned or boneless?
What, for chicken?
Well, yeah, I suppose.
Chicken, I like boned.
Okay.
Yeah, I
A lot
like
of people
boned.
people who are more into their food, they like bone. Whereas I found that because they say that the taste is better because you can taste. But I prefer boneless.
But if you said I can pick any curry I want,
If I can't eat it, I
man's
don't
going
want
for a keema.
Yeah.
Man's going for keema and
I should have
potato.
bought you some, man.
Partial to that, man. Lamb
Really?
keema with the spices, with the potatoes. Like my mother-in-law, she cooks that, Michelin starred stuff, bruv. I'm telling you that now.
Mother-in-law-
You know, like when you watch the shows and they eat and they go,
Yeah.
it's delicious, it's this, it's that. That's how a food does to you. Like you eat and you're like, boom, it tastes like this, it tastes like that, and you start praising it. It's delicious, man.
I like boneless curries because
Yeah.
I feel like if I can't eat it, why is it on my plate? I can't eat a bone.
Bro, it's about the flavour.
I know, but
listen,
for
let
me,
me
the flavour-
culture you.
For me,
quickly.
the flavor, for me, it's a case of priorities or like what outweighs what. So for me, the idea of being able to eat everything on my plate outweighs the idea of like there's such small difference in flavor that I don't notice it.
No. See, this is a problem, yeah? Because you've never had a good boned curry, you don't know the difference in the flavour. Like, I'll give you... What I do is I cat it. That's what I call it, cat it. What does that mean, brothers and sisters? What does catting your food mean? It means that you remove all the bones. So I'll spend a good 5 minutes with my fingers all in my food, pulling all the bones out and the
once
gristle.
it's cooked.
Once it's cooked.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah,
And I debone the whole thing.
and then you dash the bones.
And then you put the bones on the side, or you
So
dash
now, what's
them.
in your plate is everything edible.
Everything's edible. Then you get your prate or your roti or whatever you're doing.
What
Yeah,
do
if
you
you've got
prefer,
that
paratha or
naan.
roti? Naan. Rice.
Actually, I prefer roti, man.
I love roti, man.
Yeah, I like
That's
a
me.
roti. I used to be a big prata head, but I found that you get used to them quite quickly and they pile on the weight quicker.
Yeah,
as
the
well.
pratas
Them
do.
prata really kill off any sort of loss of weight you have. If you eat a few prata, it's gone, bro.
But with roti, if you have you have to have some.
By the way,
that's
I don't know if the people are not watching. Yeah, I'm a little bit on the chubby side. Yeah, or should I say heavily on the chubby
Is that
side.
because the prata?
But I'm not going to blame the prata. What I'm going to say is, I'm not into this healthy eating nonsense. Actually, I'm from that. I don't know what happened, man. I remember back in the day, you just yam whatever you want. Nobody ever used to talk about this.
You said this the other day. You said
It's weird, like the culture's
Yeah,
changed, man.
you-
Overnight, I woke up and people are like, "Yeah, like eat healthy," and like, I can't eat that. And I'm
well,
like,
I don't know. I kind of posed that.
Why?
Here's why.
go on. I don't get it,
Because I
bro.
remember the other day you said that back in the day, men were men and they didn't care about what they ate and their health and fitness stuff. And I feel like we're just becoming more educated as a society, and we understand what's good for us and what's bad for us.
Yeah.
And that's important because at the end of the day, even as a Muslim, bro, like if you look at the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his stomach was flat, his shoulders were broad, he was strong. And so I think I understand that there's a way of going too far with it.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I think that when you see the shuyukh that have the biggest bellies and stuff, it's not, if you were how a Muslim should be, and I'm not saying this is this is a mic thing, I think.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be like that, bro, because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam wasn't
Sallallahu
constantly
alaihi
like eating, and the sunnah is not to just constantly eating small stuff like that. So I don't know.
Agreed.
So what do you think is going wrong? Are you just talking about when it's overly like?
Yeah, that's a good question because you're right. The Sahaba, though, they didn't have the diet we have, so definitely they were skinnier and smaller. You're touching on another thing I would like to talk about as well. You're going into that realm now, which is people, what they're into, they make it part of the deen. I'll give you an example, yeah? No joke. I'm not making this up. There was a dude, right? He's into, let's say, art.
Yeah.
Yeah? A form of art. Yeah, not calligraphy, but a form of art, yeah? And he genuinely believes that the way forward for the ummah is through his type of art. Like he said, if other people just, got into this art. I don't want to mention it because it'll probably reveal who it is, yeah? Excuse me, the type of art form, yeah? But he's basically saying that the ummah will be, changed if we just... And then I meet other people who are like into fitness. So they make, the ummah needs to be fit. People make the religion about what they're into.
Yeah.
So
sometimes you take like
when
when
you
you from one hadith, you say that this is the
Yeah.
everything, and the beauty of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
that it
you
touched
could do
on
that.
everything.
Actually, you
but
could do that
everything
with
was
the
balanced.
Rasul's life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you want to make the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam look like a super, really merciful, which he was. Yeah, he's a rahmatul alameen. But if you just want to show his mercy without showing anything else, you can do that.
Yeah.
If you want to show him as a military leader only without showing anything else, you could do that. Yeah, if you want to show him
As a romantic.
Yeah, as a romantic, you could do that with the Prophet in him. But the best way to do it is to give everything in one go. And that shows you the completeness of his manhood, yeah?
It's true, but what about the idea that someone's speciality is health and fitness?
Yeah,
and so they say health and fitness.
So
is big
they'll
in
pull
Islam,
all the
and so they
hadith
pull-
about this or to say the Prophet, like you said, the Prophet was flat
Yeah.
and you this, that. But why was he flat? Their lifestyle, do you think the people who attend gym can handle the lifestyle that the Sahaba
They
handled?
would walk miles. And
Akhi, there's people today, they'll go gym like, yeah, I can do this and I can do that. And da-da-da-da. You try and get man to pick up dirty boxes to move them out of a dirty garage.
Yeah.
And Akhi, they can't do it. Oh, I'm going to get, and I get scratches on my arm and I'm going to get dirty shoes. And they're wimps. Yeah, they're the guys in the gym, I can do this and I can lift that much. But you can't even help you move house. Like, wait, you get my point?
Yeah.
The point is the heart is where it's at. Well, I might maybe on the chubby side, yeah, but you need me to pick up some, poop in the garden, bro. I'll go pick up the poop, man. If you need me to clean vomit, man, I'll clean the vomit up. You want me to dig a hole in the freezing cold? I'll dig a hole in the freezing cold. Me and Abu Bakr, we've done that. Me and Abu Bakr Patterson, yeah. But to find people like that nowadays, so I've spoke to him, yeah, beautiful brother Abu Bakr, man, bless him. We spoke about this before, like the next generation are computer people.
Yeah.
Like they've dug a hole online. They've dug a hole online. They've never had to get up at 6 a.m. and walk missions to go jump in the back of a dirty van and get driven to a building site. It's just something which is dying out amongst the British natives.
Sure.
The people who are taking them jobs are the foreigners, as you want to call them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Europeans who are coming over. Your next door neighbour's getting work done. There's not a single British labourer. All the labourers, about 3 labourers, all Polacks, all Polish. Yeah, they come and they work hard like men. They're men. Man will get up and he'll do hard work all day, come home and give the bread on the table. I remember when I was really young, working for £30 a day. And I'd be out all day as a plasterer's labourer and I'd be shattered, bruv. I'd be so tired. Yeah, but it was hard work. Then I got up to like £50 a day. I was earning £50-60 a day when I was driving. The point being is, a lot of the new generation have never done work like that. Have you ever done that? You ever worked on a building site?
No, on a building site.
Yeah. Have you ever like done proper graft work, like for a prolonged period of time? Not a week, not 2 weeks. Like some people say, have you ever done it? Yeah, I used to do gardening. What they mean is they went in their dad's garden and they cut the grass, yeah? But that's not gardening. Like I'm talking about cutting down trees, clearing cobwebs, fencing. Fencing is graft. Fencing. The reason I'm mentioning this is the style of the Sahaba's life. They were grafters. I remember one amazing story about Umar. This was in the time of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Now, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, he, subhanallah, may Allah bless him. I love him for the sake of Allah. May Allah allow me to meet him in Jannah.
I mean,
Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, he was very merciful, very kind, soft man, but tough. When he needed to be tough, he was tougher than anyone. And his adherence to the Sunnah was stronger than anyone's, yeah? So in come some of these men from the tribes outside of Medina. These were Bedouins. And these 2 Bedouins, they used to come to Rasul ﷺ and ask, and the Prophet would give to them. So they come and they ask for this piece of land, yeah, that was part of the treasury of the Ummah. And nothing was really being done with it. And they said, yeah, we're going to do this with it, put it to use.
yeah, exactly.
So Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, he agreed. He said, yeah, go on, take the land. Yeah, he said, but take this deed, you could call it, like a deed for the land, yeah? He signed it. He said, take it to Umar and get him to sign it. Yeah? Now, when they went to Umar with this piece of paper, Umar, what do you think he was doing?
Don't know.
He was applying tar to his camel. And you'll find in the life of Umar, there's a few incidents where he was doing this job. This job is about the lowest job. This is the job that the servants used to do, yeah? The low people would do, as you call it, yeah? It's like the toilet cleaner, yeah? Applying tar to a camel is hard work. You got to get this thick, sticky tar, and you got to apply it onto the skin and then take it off. And it's to get rid of fleas, and you got to put it on the whole camel. Camels are massive, in the hot sun, and you're doing it, and it smells, and you're around a camel, and you're doing this hard graft, and it sticks to your clothes, and it sticks to your fingers, and gets in your beard or whatever. Yeah, Umar is doing this work, and these guys roll up to him, they're like, yeah, Umar, just sign this document. This is, and Umar, he said, let me finish. Yeah, Umar, he didn't like these guys. Umar's like, yeah, let me do my thing. When Umar got it and he read what it was, he spat in it and tore it apart.
Subhanallah.
He tore the deed apart and he said, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to give to you. And he said, I'll refuse. I'm never going to sign this. Umar said, radiallahu anh, that Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to give to you when Islam was weak and needed strength. Now Islam is strong. We don't need you anymore. Basically, you ain't getting nothing. Do one. Yeah.
Right.
So Umar was tough, but the reason I narrated this story is the nature of the work he was doing was really tough, hard work. They would build, they would make the bricks themselves, and they would build their houses themselves with their bare hands. I'd love to take some of these wannabe gangster brothers out there, these young youth walking around on the street thinking they're tough. Yeah, the little Abdullahs and the little Muhammads who think they're bad man in it, being cheeky to their mum, being cheeky to their parents, yeah, walking around like they own the place. I'd love to take them to Mauritania, some desert out there, and then do a little challenge for them. Live like the Sahaba for a month. You got to form your own little community, build your house out of mud, make them live like that, let them taste that feeling. It's like a rehabilitation program. This is an idea for a show I've had for a long time. If anyone wants to fund it, get in touch. Yeah. But this show I've had, Abu Bakr knows, was well aware of it. It's an idea I've had for a long time. I think it's a great rehabilitation program because their way of life is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's a real testament to being a real man. If you can live like that, live that rough, tough life. I think people have fasted this month and they think, a lot of people, they love to mention, oh, it makes you imagine what it's like to be poor. That's not the purpose of it. Akhi, if Allah didn't say to fast and it's sinful and I'm going to get punished for not doing it, akhi, I'm never going to fast, bro.
Yeah.
Trust me, man. You'll see me eat every single day. If the Prophet ﷺ didn't do it and it was not told by Allah to be fard, akhi, I'll never do it, bro. Simply. And don't come with that nonsense that you're going to do it to make yourself feel what they feel like. Because if you're doing that, akhi, you're like some, spiritual warlock or whatever. Go live that life, man. I don't business. I do it because there's punishment and reward involved, yeah? And most things we do it for punishment and reward. The way that they lived was not a choice. It weren't punishment, reward.
Yeah.
But it made the best generation. When you read that in the Quran, you have to look at it from every angle. Why are they the best generation? What? Just because?
Yeah, it's not like they had the best technology.
They had no technology in comparison to us. They're the primitive technology compared to us, yeah? But they were the best generation. They were the best, and you got to look at their life on the whole. Don't just say, oh, they were only the best when the Quran came to them, yeah? Or they were only the best after the Quran was finished being revealed. They were the best generation that's ever lived. Consider that for a moment. Out of the billions of people that probably lived since the beginning of time, how many billions? Allah knows, I don't, yeah? And Allah, you know everything, ya Rab. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows, and when He said that they were the best generation, that's taking into consideration every generation that's ever lived, akhi, and will ever live. Like even the ones now, these are the best guys. Look at their lifestyle. Look at how they lived. Look at their school that they went to. Not just the ilm that they got from the Prophet ﷺ, but their style of living. The way they could behave in such tough conditions. The manners that they kept in such tough conditions. Because when the proverbial hits the fan, like me and you are cool now. When the proverbial hits the fan, when things go down, that's when you see man's saving his stuff on the boat. When the ship's sinking, people start saving their own thing. They start grabbing their own bags. Forget you, man. I'm going to step on your back to get off onto the safe boat. Like, I'm not saying I'm like that, but I'm saying this generally what happens when things are tough. They grew up in that tough environment. They never had that. They were always selfless. When you hear the hadith that, well, not hadith, but the incident in Sirah, after Khandaq, or during Khandaq, when some of the Sahaba were in need of water, but they would say, give it to my brother. And it went around. The one was died. Famous story. Consider their lifestyle, bruv. They had nothing. And he was still willing to give up. Like, it's a real special moment when you read that. This is true love for your brother, what you love for yourself. We're not talking life and death. It sounds romantic, like you said earlier. It sounds romantic to be like that. I love you, bruv. Take my coffee. It's easy to do this. Anyway, when the proverbial hits the fan and you got to save your kids and your wife, most people are going to turn and look after man first. Look after themselves. They're going to look after their family. Hold on a minute. Let me feed my family. Then there's an ayah in Quran when there was one of the Ansar. Him and his family were in more need. May Allah forgive me. I forgot his name. When him and his family was in more need, yet he brought one of the people in and fed him from the food that was meant for his own children. And Allah reveals an ayah concerning him, saying, those who give when they themselves are in more need than him. This is true love for your brother or you love for yourself. This is why these young you out there are acting all bad, man. Think they're tough. I know if we took all those gangster dealer type, took him out of his crummy little BMW and crushed it, and sent him to a desert somewhere. Said, now see how tough you are. See how long you last here. Now see how good your line is. Now see how much money you're going to make. When all he's got around him is the desert. Akhi, man's going to fall apart. He's not a man. He's not a real man. He'd be crying for his mum after 2 days. Even a day, I think they'll be start crying. Please, send me back home. I'm not going to do this anymore. They'll cry after 1 day.
And then imagine Yom Qiyamah. When we in Yom Qiyamah and you have that feeling of, send me back, I'll change it all.
Yeah. That's scary, bro.
Because that's you're giving an example of dunya, and we can't even put Yom Qiyamah into words. I can't even explain it in terms of dunya. But when you're saying you're saying that, I'm thinking, Faruq's so right. Like anyone, you put me in the desert, bro, with nothing around me. I have to just make myself survive. You break me.
break.
But that desert's got nothing compared to Yom Kippur. Or when on Yom Kippur, I'm going to say, because even if I'm in that desert, I know I'm in the dunya. There's still a way I can get myself home. Even if I've got no peas, I don't know, no one, I can't speak the language, there'll be a way. I can walk and walk and walk until I see human life. And when I see that human life, best know I'll do actions, I'll do anything to say, give me where can I go for more human life? Where can I go where people can speak English? How do I get a flight? You know, and then where can I get a job? Eventually I can stack the peas, even if it takes me a couple of years, stack the peas to get one flight, I'm back in London. I mean, if it's good again. But we're talking Yom Kippur, we're going to be begging for half an hour back in that dunya, 1 hour back in that dunya, and we can't get it. Imagine them days, bro. Imagine them days where you just think, oh, just send me back for half hour, I will change my life. There's no more. You're done. You had your time. Your time was your time, and your time was allotted to you. Your time was always allotted to you, and your time was gone. And we don't know when that time will end. So, you know, one thing that changed my life around was the thought that if I said to myself, if I leave my house right now and get hit by a bus, am I going to go heaven or am I going to go hell? Because I believed that. I believed 100%. And I never doubted Islam. I never doubted Allah. It was just about whether I will practice or not. So I thought, if I could leave my house right now, I'm not talking about tomorrow, 1 month. I'm talking literally this instant. Leave my house, I get hit, I die. Am I going heaven or hell? I said to myself, I'm definitely going hell. But obviously Allah is the best to judge. So I can't say that. I can't say I'm definitely going to judge.
But that was what was in your heart.
Yeah. And then I said, what if I start living a life where I can't say, oh, I'm going to go to heaven, but what if I start living a life where I feel like I built a case up for myself a bit? That's it. Just built up a case. So I can stand in front of Allah and I've got something to go with, innit? Again, Allah is the judge, I can't say I'm definitely going to heaven or hell. But I wasn't even building a case for myself them days. So I said, let me try to start building a case. Because I could actually leave my house and that's me done. So what can I even do inside the house? I started getting the things that are around me, started dashing it down the toilet, anything I could, just anything. What can I do to build a case? Go to the wake up Fajr, that's the case. Everything's added to the list. I'm now building a case for myself. Yes. Remove this, remove that, add this.
This is a good attitude, Akhi.
Yeah,
bless you, man. Because this is how you got to look at it. You got to stand in front of the Lord Most High and plead your case, bro. And your body's going to witness against you. This is the thing. There's witnesses you don't even realize that are around you. There's 2 angels. People forget about this. Yeah. You know, beautiful brother Jawad, man, I bless him. He always says, keep this busy, keep this one busy, keep this angel on your right busy, keep it writing, keep it good deeds flowing in its, so it's pens, you know, constantly dipping into that quill, you know, dipping that quill into the ink, whatever. Yeah. You know, I'm talking poetically here, obviously I don't know the exact nature of how it's writing, yeah? And this one here, make sure it's not busy. Try to keep it, you know, relaxed. And this angel is the Emir. So if you commit a mistake, brother and sister, and you make tawbah or you do a sin to erase it, this one will say, don't write. Maybe he will have regret and ask Allah for forgiveness. Then it won't write that sin. Yeah. Keep these angels busy, brothers and sisters, because if you live your life like that with that awareness, like you're saying, with this idea that I need to plead my case to the Lord Most High, it will make you be more practical about how to be a Muslim. Sometimes we base too much of it on emotion and feeling. Like, you know, I loved what Sheikh Wasim was talking about at the beginning of the month. People are, you know, a lot of people out there, they get really excited about Ramadan. They say, Ramadan's coming, brothers and sisters. Yes, let's do it. Let's enjoy the month. Let's get the most about. And there's some people sitting there with an empty heart, like, mate, it's any better for me. Like, I'm nervous. Yeah. You know, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. And then it's a struggle for them. They're not boosted by Ramadan. They're the opposite. They become nervous and afraid in Ramadan. They want to try their best to observe all the fasts. And, you know, alhamdulillah, they do it. But for them, it's not like a celebration, Ramadan. It's another ibadah, like your 5 days. I don't go, woohoo, it's time for Salatul Dhuhr, and start jumping around a place. Yeah? Same way as a lot of people treat Ramadan. They don't jump around. And, you know, it's a normal for them, akhi. It's like, it's another month of ibadah for the Lord Most High. Simple. Yeah, and same as when you go, like a lot of people built up, and I told you about this before. A lot of people built up visiting the Kaaba. Oh,
yeah. When you saw it, you was a bit like.
When I saw it, bruv, I started to cry, and so you start thinking, that's what I'm going to happen to me. I'm going to get really emotional. I'm going to cry. I'm going to do this, jump around the place, you know, Allah, and I'm going to get that emotional. Ya Rab. Like, akhi, I got there. It was just another thing. It was just another day. Got there, went round, I was waiting for that epiphany, that a religious moment. It didn't happen for me. I did get emotional at one point, but that was in Medina. reason why I'm mentioning this is some people out there, they feel deficient because of this. But it's not a deficiency. There's no promise of this in the Quran.
Yeah.
Rather, Allah Ta'ala promises you Jannah for the ibadah that you do. So treat it as a worship if that's how you feel. If you get boosted about Ramadan, Allahu Akbar, alhamdulillah, this is from Allah. And you should be thankful to Allah for that. You should put your head down and thinking and considering that, this is a proper ni'mah from Allah. You know, if you love to pray and you spend your night praying, like some people, they like to get up in the middle of the night and pray. If you like that, if you feel the love for that and the like, this is from Allah. It's nothing, it's not normal. This is from Allah special. You should be thankful to Allah. And that's why you should maybe do a little extra one at the end of your night prayer, just to say, thanks Allah for letting me be like this. Not everyone is. But there's some people who hate to give. They may be the best worshipper, abid of Allah. This is a thing about Muslims, brother. And not a lot of people talk about this. They talk about the ideal Muslim. And we was talking about ideal Islam earlier. Let's talk about the ideal Muslim. The ideal Muslim is all-encompassing of everything. The perfect this, the perfect that. Not all Muslims are. There's some Muslims maybe like yourself, got good personality, bubbly, this, that, and that. Great for da'wah. Great for these sort of programs, yeah? I don't know where your weaknesses are. You know where your own weaknesses are, yeah? But my point is, some people are built for da'wah. Some people, in this ummah, are built for scholarship. They're just the way their mind works, the way they are. They're built to be scholars, the people who learn and study the religion, but not so sophisticated that they can't relate to the people. I'm talking about scholars who break it down and make it easy for the man. That's the purpose of the scholars, not to sophisticate the da'wah to the point where only a select few understand. Yeah, rather it's the opposite. They take the ilm of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and they break it down. They make it easy for you to understand. That's the purpose of the scholar. And that's a lot of people are. That's their job though. That's why Allah made them. There's other people who are great for charity work. To get up and go. Oh, I've got a container and it needs filling. Boom, they're the first ones down there. They're volunteer type people, yeah? They're the first ones down. They're filling up the container. They're jumping in a van and driving down to collect the clothes out the clothes bin. These people, they have their place too, yeah? Maybe they're not good at dawah. Maybe they're not that sophisticated in their understanding of Islam and have struggled to make it easy for you to understand, But they're simple Muslims. But that's their role. That's what they're good at, yeah? Then there's some people, subhanAllah, their job is, other things. They're more physical. They're brave. They're not afraid of the people, yeah? But their role in the society can't be fulfilled. Yeah. Then there's the ubad, the people who worship Allah. You'll see them in the masjid. They maintain the masjid, they look after the masjid. They're the ones establishing the adhan. They're the ones who sit around. They always tell you, go to the mosque, meet you in the mosque. I'll meet you over in the mosque. They're in the mosque all the time, the ubad. They're the ones who worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they play a role too. They're inspiration. You go in there, you see, oh, mashallah, he's always worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's up at night worshipping Allah. He's fasting the sunnah days. He's this, that, and the other. Some people, they combine multiple. He might be an ubad and a da'i, or he might be an ubad and a person who loves to worship Allah and also a scholar at the same time, or he might be three, an abid, a scholar, and a da'i, yeah. And then there might be some who encompass all of them in one. They're just good at everything. They're the general. The reason I'm mentioning this is sometimes we get upset at certain Muslims. We say, he's a what's the right maverick. He'll say things to people and you think, why are you saying it like that? You're putting people off. He's too tough. He has a role, but we're not facilitating his role in the deen. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why they go astray or they go wrong, because nobody's facilitating them, their position in the ummah. Yeah, you'll find that even amongst the Sahaba. When you read about the Sahaba, bro, you see all of them. Yeah, and you see the lights that shine bright. They're the ones that encompass multiple of these multiple traits. Yeah. Then you'll read like ones who just have one, and they're known for it, like Bara bin Malik. You know about Bara? Look him up. Don't want to go into too much detail about Bara, but he was a brave man. You hear the story about the Musaylima, the liar. You know about Musaylima, the liar. Okay, Musaylima was a man who claimed prophethood, right? And he did so in the time of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he had his own Quran. And his Quran was awful. Like he would talk about the frog. You know, and his Quran would contain ayat about food. One of his people, he said, he was from Banu Hanifa, Musaylama, he was from Banu Hanifa. He said, he went in, he said, what's Jibreel revealed to you today from the Lord Most High? And he started reciting these ayat about food, yeah, describing food and whatnot. He goes, I don't know if the angel's revealing it to your heart or to your stomach. Yeah, and then when he left the little room, he goes, you know, the liar from Banu Hanifa is better than the truthful from Quraysh. That's what he said. Arrogance, akhi. But this man, he became a fitna. And he even after Rasul was passed away, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his fitna continued into the time of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. And then Abu Bakr, he fought against Musaylama. And you know, Wahshi, the one who killed the uncle of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he laid claim to killing of Musaylama. He threw the spear. But then another Sahaba, I can't remember who it was, also claimed because he struck him with the sword when the spear hit him. Oh, okay. But anyway, the point is they took out Musaylama. In this battle, Musaylama was inside his fortress. They couldn't get in. The Muslims could not get in, akhi. And they were outside and they were all inside and they were doing tawaf around him. They were doing like circling him. You know, they were like a tornado, bruv. All these soldiers going round and round Musaylama. So they, you know, and they were inside the fortress. So they needed one man who would go over the wall and open the door from the other side. This man, his name is Bara bin Malik. And Bara, he said, put me on a shield. Yeah, so they placed Bara on the shield. And they pushed him up with their spears to throw him over, yeah? It's like, Ajib, man. Man's on us. You know the old days when they had these stone walls, like fortresses. Excuse me. The way it was, like old school. Man's on a shield getting pushed up like wearing rags and whatnot, yeah? So he gets pushed up, and when he goes up the first time, he's in one of the narrations in, I think this one's in Ar-Rahiq al-Makhtoum. No, excuse me, it's not. It's in the life of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, excuse me. But there's a hadith about Bara in Al-Rahiq. Anyway, they push him up, and he goes up to the wall, and he looks over, and he sees all of the spears and the people.
How ready for him?
He gets like a little shook. Goes back down. He goes, oh, no, fire me again. Yeah, and they fired him, and he went over this time. Actually, he fought until he got to the door, and he opened the door for the Muslims. It is said, Allah knows best if it's true or not, but he had about 80 wounds on his body at that time. Bara was a special man. The Prophet ﷺ said about him that there may be a person who has dishevelled hair, meaning he's unkempt, rough-looking, dusty clothes. But when he makes an oath, Allah fulfills it for him. So, and he said, and one of those men is Bara bin Malik. He's this brother of Anas bin Malik. Yeah. You see my point? His role wasn't as a scholar. He wasn't
different roles.
Yeah, everyone has different roles. And we've got to appreciate that about the Muslims. And that's why when you have a strong leadership that's governing the Muslims, you can identify who's good at what role. Yeah. And then that way, instead of man who's got a lot of energy going off somewhere else, you contain it and control it. Yeah, and you put them in fitness regimes or whatever and get them to control the Muslims in that way. You know, maybe like you're into your fitness and you like the healthy eating. Actually, you can develop a program for the Muslims with other brothers who think similar to you and help. You know what I mean? Make the Muslims better in that. Anyway, yeah, you get my point. Yeah, I don't know why I went into that now. I can't remember. Oh.
Yeah, we were talking about quite a lot, and one of the things that you mentioned, if we just track it back a bit, was the angels, and you were talking about the angels in your shoulders. Do you think that a lot of us forget or don't spend enough time contemplating by the unseen? The stuff that people have, stuff like the angels, because we have to bear in mind that Allah created so much, and a lot of it is seen, but a lot of it is also unseen. And when we don't think there's an angel here or there's an angel there, or there's times, do you think that gets forgotten about a lot?
Definitely, especially in our time. That goes back to the sophisticated Dawa of today.
Yeah.
People believe that Dawa now is about proving God and His existence in very intellectual ways. Back in the day, who were the people who used to become Muslim in the time of the Rasuls? When you read the Quran, who is it?
Those who saw the actions.
It was normally the weak and the poor, right?
Yeah.
Those type of people, weak and poor, the ones who had no rights. They were the ones who used to become Muslim. In today's society, and I can't remember which brother explained this to me, and it was beautiful, and I've been really thinking about it since. He said that in the old times, I think it was I forgot who it was. Man, forgive me. He said in the old days, the people who used to become Muslim in the initial dawah were the weak and the poor. And it's true. When you read the Quran, you see it, akhi. It's like, yeah, true. But today, a lot of the people who take Shahada now are middle class. Why is that's not a problem? You know, everyone should have the chance to become Muslim. But now dawah, when you look at dawah online, it's always debating in this sophisticated language and there's and rightly so, yeah, there should be people dealing with that. But the dawah, the people who are becoming Muslim are the middle class. Whereas the ones who used to become Muslim, when they heard about the rights and they heard about the change of the law and how they would be treated because of the justice of Islam, those people are not becoming Muslim.
Yeah.
In fact, they're the ones who hate Islam.
Yeah.
Get my point?
Yeah.
The dawah's changed. Now dawah's become too convoluted with discussions and deep debates and considering philosophy and who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's nature and etc. etc.
Yeah.
You know?
But we don't think much about the unseen.
Yeah. There's no... I remember talking to some people and it's always... Even amongst Muslims, akhi. Let's talk about amongst Muslims, yeah? Nowadays, it's always discussion about aqidah.
Yeah.
Discussion about fiqh. Akhi, what's this opinion on this and whose opinion on that and what should I do here, sheikh, and what should I do there, sheikh, and it's all to do with fiqh, yeah? And all to do with belief and what the correct understanding is and what the scholars said about this and what the scholars said about that. Akhi, when was the last time you went to a khutbah, a man talked about ad-Dajjal or talked about the signs of Yawm al-Qiyamah and related them to now? Or talk to you about Day of Judgment in depth. I'm not talking about like on a Day of Judgment this will happen, brothers, and like a simple little reminder. I'm talking about, you know, in depth. Yeah, Sirat, the Malaika bringing Jahannam and Jahannam's description and all of this. When was the last time? It's very rare. Yeah. Nowadays we only want to deal with solutions to problems.
I love hearing about the unseen.
It's my favourite topic. My favourite topic.
I was so... Well, I remember one thing that just blew my mind was when I heard about the wing of Angel Jibreel, I think it was. And it was like... I can't remember it. I might get it wrong, so forgive me. But it was something along the lines of him having 600 wings. And one wing is big enough that would cover the whole sky. I was just imagining this. I was like, subhanAllah. Because when I envisioned Angel Jibreel, that's not how I imagined him. When I've always been hearing... when I've always been hearing stories about Angel Jibreel, revealing revelation to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I never imagined him to be like this big figure with so many wings. If he put his wing on the earth, like it would, like, do you know what I mean? Or like you mentioned about
Do you hear about Sodom and Gomorrah?
Nah.
It was Jibreel's in one riwayah. It was I don't know if it's authentic or not, but it's from the history. He took the tip of his wing and he lifted it up to the seventh heaven. Gomorrah, it's a place.
Oh, subhanAllah.
It's you know where the Dead Sea is, what they say, yeah?
Sahih.
He lifted it up with the tip of his wing and he threw it down. Ajib, akhi, the tip of his wing. I mean, I'm doing it like this, yeah? Allahu alim how it is, yeah? I'm doing it with my little tip of my finger. But can you imagine that? A whole country
even when you're mentioning about Jahannam being carried by, what was it, like 70,000 angels?
Yeah, and
each...
There's 70,000 bridle.
And then each bridle has 70,000 angels.
That's right.
That's how big Jahannam is.
Can you imagine that, bruv?
Imagine it.
And it's conscious. It talks. It has a head, brothers and sisters. It's alive. And it's designed, created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to punish. It's got a specific purpose. Just like me and you, we have a purpose in our creation. Yeah. Just like the sun has a purpose, like the earth, the seas, the rain, the cloud, everything forms and has its purpose.
You know, I was watching this documentary. I watched only that first half hour of it, but it was on a BBC iPlayer called The Planets, right? And it's a documentary about different planets, the solar system. And in like the first episode, like the first 10 minutes, he said something, the narrator, this guy's like really pro Big Bang Theory and that kind of stuff. Yeah. And he said something and I thought to myself, how could you not believe in Allah, bruv? Like, listen to your own words, bruv. His own words, he's giving da'wah. He goes, and no other life can be on any other planet. And the reason is because the earth is, the earth,
Goldilocks.
he goes, the earth is the exact amount of distance away from the sun, or the sun, sorry, is the exact amount distance away from the sun for there to be life on the earth. If the sun was even a tiny bit further or a tiny bit closer, there would be huge issues. Life wouldn't be able to sustain itself on the earth. So that's why the other planets don't have life on them. That's what he said. And I thought, Allahu Akbar, look how Allah created the sun, how he perfected the distance so that life could be on it. And but that guy's analogy, the narrator, who's like really big on science stuff, he said something like the sun happens to be this much closer to the earth so that that life can be life on earth. And I'm like, how can you use the word happens to be? Like he said, like just by coincidence, just by chance, we're on the earth because the sun just so happens to be the exact distance that it needs to be. I'm like, this is proof of Allah, bro. And this guy's like pro, like, it's mad to hear that.
But if you come to them and you say to them, oh, everything's a simulation, actually they're ready to believe it. A lot of these the current little theory that's been knocking about, it's like, oh, we're in some sort of simulation, and you know, that we might even be jacked into something, and when we die we actually come out of the so they're kind of saying that this is not the real world, but the next world is the real world, just like what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. Allahu Akbar, alhamd. But if you say to them that's what God says, they say, oh no, there's no such thing as God, even though exactly what they're saying, I'm not saying it's true, but we know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us. The next life is the real life, if only they knew. If only they considered, contemplate. Anyway, subhanallah, I like what you said. Even winter and summer here in Britain, the way it goes like that, even if that wasn't doing that, if it didn't have that, wobble effect almost to the spin, so it's spinning but it wobbles over the year, goes like that, we wouldn't be able to live here. Because one side would be burnt to a crisp and the other side would be super cold. So, but like maybe we'd have like a little rim of area where we'd be able to live, like a small area of the planet where we'd be able to live. Yeah, like a thin layer. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he wants to do something, kun faya kun.
Yeah. That's why when you said Allah designed Jahannam, it just made me think like, look at how Allah's designed everything.
Perfection in the design of Jahannam.
Everything has a use, man. Like there's nothing that Allah has created that doesn't have a use.
Of course not. And they try to make it that the human has no purpose. They take away the human purpose, but everything else seems to have one.
Even sometimes when you just think about the eyebrows, like just the fact that when you're sweating in your forehead and the water ain't going into your eyes because your eyebrows. Like,
But I've got a beast. One eyebrow, like one piece of hair. There's one that is a beast. Akhi. Have you seen it, bro?
Oh, I see.
Bro, it's a whopper, man. My missus tried to pull it out the other day. Wait. I mean, that's a special one.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it's mad because when you do think about all of those things, man, like, and sometimes you think like, oh, I wonder what this is, and you don't want to ask too many questions, but you think, oh, I'm excited to find out. Like in Akhirah, excited to find out why is it that we had to have like, I don't know, hair on our big toe. I mean, like whatever it is. Always has a really bad example. People are always going. My point is that there's some things that you just think, why? Like there might be something on our body, or why did we need 2 kidneys necessarily when we all these little things. Obviously, there's no point asking questions.
The old appendix.
You ask too many questions. You go a bit far, but you're like, I'm excited to find out. Inshallah, I feel like.
You know what's exciting for me? I can't wait. Yeah, it's when we get to the Akhirah. If Allah Ta'ala allows me to enter into Jannah, right? Yeah. Imagine watching the greatest movie of all time. The beginning of everything, and you sit there, and it's not like in a movie cinema, like you're in it. Like imagine right now, brothers and sisters, that me and you are watching this together in Jannah, but we're there, like right here.
Yeah.
But Allah Ta'ala allows us to watch it without the veils covering it, so we can see the malaika flying through, because we're remembering Allah right now, right? Any gathering where the name of Allah is mentioned, the malaika see it through as they fly through the sky, and there's special angels looking. So they're flying around through they're going traveling through the sky, and they see the dhikrillah, like we see the. I would have been mentioned. Can't remember what the hadith mentioned. Is it like the lightning? Excuse me, or like the star?
I'm not sure if the hadith, the one that I'm thinking about doesn't mention what it is.
There's one that it mentions that it's like they see it like a light passing through the sky. So they come to the gathering,
and they pile up.
And then when they see us, they go back to Allah and they say, "Oh Allah, there's some people there and they're remembering you." Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks, "Have they seen me? Has my creation seen me?" No, and they're praising me. then write that I've forgiven them. You know, and you know the longer hadith where it mentions, except for the one, but even he gets forgiven. Yeah, but the point being is that right now we can't see that. Imagine we're sitting just here, on like a special throne. Because Allah says they're sitting on thrones, reclined, facing one another, talking about what they used to do. Imagine we're sitting here looking and saying, you remember that when we did the podcast? Yeah, but we can't see it now. And I'm referring to it and I'm pointing to myself. And Allah knew that I would do this, so therefore He allowed me to see it.
You'll be chatting to me, you'll be like, remember when we did that podcast? And then we'll watch something and you go, why did you edit that bit out? Why did that bit not make the final cut? Well, Farooq.
You're a mubtadi, Farooq. But can you imagine that though?
Yeah.
Amazing, akhi. And this is something this will be. Imagine going from the beginning when you watch Adam land, like a proper movie.
All the stories that we heard about that we went in the Quran, we'll be able to see them.
When Noah started warning these people that were abusing him, and we'd be able to see what they were saying about him behind his back, and go and see what he was doing. And then we see when the rains come, and we see the people running looking for shelter, and he's sitting on his boat that Allah Ta'ala inspired him to create.
You know, there's the one brother who said that that is the akhirah changed his perception on mourning. And I mentioned this in a previous podcast, but the short story for you is that his daughter passed away when she was like 4 years old, and the way he's changed his mourning has really helped him in the sense that he no longer thinks about her in the past, but he looks forward to meeting her in the future, and he's excited to see my daughter. She'll be 33 in Jannah, I'll be the same age as me. I'm gonna meet her inshallah, and it makes you want to work for Jannah because you think like, you know what I mean? Child actually died. That's straight Jannah for the child.
Straight away.
So now it's like I need to work for Jannah now, so I can meet her. And actually, it's like it does change the things because it gives you something to look forward to, something to work towards. There's a lot that's hard to fathom as well with it. But this is we're human beings. We're limited in it.
No, we're limited in our understanding, bro. We're limited. Yet at the same time, we should have that hope to get there. Some people they work better off hope. Some people work better off fear. Me personally, I prefer hope.
Yeah, I prefer fear.
Yeah, you work better with the reminder of there's a fire underneath you type thing. I'd say I like to have hope in making it to the wonderland that is Jannah. I've always wanted to see it. I've always had the feeling that it was there. I never understood what it was. Now I have the knowledge behind it. I really, really want to be there. I really want to go there. Like, who don't want to teleport, bro? The technology we have here and what we can imagine here, bro, this is weak compared to what you can get in Al-Akhirah. Like, imagine me and you could just say we want to be, like, we want to go there, and we're there instantly. There's one hadith, subhanallah. There'll be some people that will be sitting and they'll see a bird in the sky, and that bird will be brought to them, prepared instantly in front of them. They will eat from it, and the bird will restore back to its normal self and fly off again. It's a hadith. I'm just giving you the crux of it rather than going through each and everything. There was one time the Rasul described one of the birds on a lake or a river, maybe bigger than, Allahu Alim exactly what it was on. Maybe the Hawd, Allahu Alim. And Umar, when he heard, I think it was Umar, when they heard the description, it had big necks. He said, oh, those birds must be really happy because, you know, they're doing a lot of eating with such a big neck. And the Prophet said, no, the ones who eat from those birds will be even happier. So there's going to be, when we arrive there, there's a banquet like you never imagined, brothers and sisters. We know when the Jew came to the Prophet, asked him a few questions. One of the things he said, what will be the banquet that will be given to the people when they first enter into Jannah? The Prophet said the first bit of food will be fish liver, and the second thing will be a steak from an ox that's been feeding in the four corners of Jannah. So this ox right now is in Jannah eating, grazing on the land of Jannah, munching from here, there and everywhere in Jannah. This thing's going to be huge, bruv. It's going to feed all the Muslims and all the people that make it into Jannah. It's going to feed them all. The millions and however many Allah knows, right? Billions even.
Yeah.
Because the Prophet said that one time...
What does the ox look like? I can't picture an ox.
Ox is like a cow with horns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a big beast, like a wildebeest. You know, a wildebeest is a bit like that, massive thing, yeah. This thing's been fed right now. We're going to yam on that thing when we get into Jannah, yeah. And we're going to be given a drink from Salsabil, special drink that the Prophet ﷺ told us we're given to those people who enter into Jannah. And then the Malaika will greet us, Assalamu alaikum. Yeah. peace be upon you. Yeah, basically enjoy this for what you used to do, for the hard work you did. You made it. Congratulations. Welcome. Come in. Enjoy this food. Take this dish, this first food. So you're going to eat that liver, fish liver. Allahu alim, one say whale liver. But it's a special food. Maybe you don't like it now. One sheikh, when I heard him mention it, he said, maybe in the dunya you don't like fish liver. But yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's ox.
MashaAllah, that's the ox there, yeah? So if you just showed a picture. If you ain't seen an ox, brother and sisters, Google it, yeah? So, and maybe the translation's not very good, but that's what the sheikh said. He said ox. I think I read somewhere else it was, translated differently. But ox, I believe, is a good translation. Anyway, the fish liver, one said it was whale liver, like a giant whale liver. We're going to have that as our starter. Then the main dish will be ox, and then it's followed with salsabil as a drink. Then you're going to go to your yard. So when you get in there, straight away you're going to be told by the malaika, after you've had that munch, now you relaxed a bit, you've had the food, you're like, boom, you're looking around, you're seeing how beautiful it is, you're seeing trees that you've never seen before, you've never seen this stuff before, you're going to see the soil, it's made of musk, you're going to see everything. Then malaika are going to say, recite. And every ayah, is going to take you up a level. Boom, 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 boom. You're going to recite. And you're going to recite. And then when you finish recite, you're going to land at your yard. Allahu Akbar. And then you're going to see your yard, and it's going to be huge, bro. It's absolutely massive. And you're going to know it because you built it in the life of the world. The thing is, in the dunya, we chase after something that we don't even know is there. Like you might say, yeah, I'm going to have this. You may never get any of it. But Jannah right now, you're building it for reals. It's real estate, not this dunya estate. It's real estate.
When you Shevans were speaking about that and about raising your ranks to Jannah and stuff, he said, to be honest, if I make it to Jannah, I'll be happy to sleep on the streets of Jannah.
Of course you will, but that's not no one gets that low.
Of course. But he's saying that his point is that I just want to get to Jannah. But,
me too, man. Akhi, me too.
Yeah.
And I hope Allah lets me go there. Because
there's one sheikh, akhi, listen to this here. One sheikh, I can't remember. I think he may have been in the UAE. He was in a Q&A and someone said, how do I get to Jannah? That's what the question was. And you know what the Sheikh said? It's such a beautiful response. He goes, ask the one who is in control. Just ask him. Because if your dua gets accepted, that's it, you're done. Okay, if your dua gets accepted, that's you there. You're in Jannah. Because why? Because Allah is the one who controls it. Allah is the one who owns it. Allah is the one who created it. So if Allah just accepts your dua, that's it, bro. You're in Jannah. And it's such a beautiful response because it's true. Sometimes we do anything and everything possible, but how often do we raise our hands and say, Allah, grant me Jannah? Yeah. Ameen. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah. We should do it every day.
Every day, bro.
Yeah, Allah forgive me.
Not to say that that's enough. Not to say that we shouldn't do anything else, but to say that you might ask at a time where the eyes are accepted. You ask at a time where, whatever, you may have just done something through sincerity that you don't realize that you've done. Yeah. That because you were so sincere with it, you didn't even realize that it's that how lofty that act was, how much reward you got for that act, and straight after you asked Allah for Jannah, and that act was so heavy on your scales. That's it, akhi. That was your ticket. You don't know, so it's so beautiful when I heard that response because it's something that I didn't think about ever. You don't think about it because you just think. You get so caught up in the world. You get so caught up with the things that you have to do. You don't think that sometimes things are simple. And Islam is easy. Islam is simple. We make it difficult upon ourselves.
Sahih. Yeah, we do. We definitely do.
A lot of the times, man, we do. And the more you... I think a lot of it comes down to the barakah. Earlier, in the podcast, you were discussing the barakah. And I love this concept of barakah in Islam. I love it. Because it removes the notion of quantity, something that we base our entire dunya of. How much money do you have? Yeah, numbers. How much money do I have?
How much followers? How much
followers do I have? How much in square foot is my yard? How many bedrooms is my house? How fast does my car go? How much money does my car cost? How many of this do you have? How many of that do you have? You know what I mean? Everything is to do with numbers, akhi. But with barakah, it's got nothing to do with numbers.
Nothing.
It's the numbers is the least of the worries. But it's about it, even if you have little. It's the barakah that is in it. Sorry. Subhanallah. Actually, there's a hadith that it reminds me of that. I don't know, but I heard it, and it was the crux of it was to do with the fact that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I think it was a guest at someone's house, and basically the fact that this person, I think it was he was not the richest of people, and he didn't have much food, but he gave the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam what he had, and the Prophet really liked it, and so he said, like, kind of give me some more kind of thing. The point is that every time he kept going back, it was just more in there. And even though he was confused, but it was the barakah in the food. There was more. There's more.
This is
there's
a
more.
story with an Ansari.
Oh,
He
okay.
invited the Prophet ﷺ for food. And and his wife told him, we've got food for so and so amount of people.
Yeah.
So he said to Rasulullah, oh, Messenger of Allah, come to my house and bring a certain number of people because we have some food, that we want to give. The Prophet ﷺ, he invited everyone.
Okay.
Everyone. So they went back to this Sahaba's house and he goes into his wife and he said, oh, wife,
Oh,
the
wife.
Prophet, I can't remember.
Yeah.
He said the Prophet ﷺ is brought he's bringing everyone. What are we going to do? We ain't got enough. She went, did you tell him how many people we had for? And he said, yes. Then Allah and his messenger know best, she said. Man, I bless her. Pure Tawheed, man. She knew Rasulullah knew something, So they come and the Prophet ﷺ would tell people to go in 8 groups of 8, I think it was. They would go in, they would feed from it. Go in, they feed from it. I think over 800 people were fed. And he said, and when we looked in the pot, there was still more in there than we started with. Barakat, akhi. And but sometimes we forget who Allah is. Allah can increase your rizq like that. Like if you got...
Do you know what's hard to imagine, bro? The last story that you told, that is actually true, like actually happened in real life.
100% true.
Like as in, it took place. Right? Because
See
you
this
think...
bottle of water?
Yeah.
Imagine that I drink from it and I drink from it.
Because it sounds like a fantasy story that you fit in a movie. That's what my point is. But
Exactly.
it actually happened. And guess who made that happen? The same Lord back then is the same Lord now.
Same Lord today. This is what I always say, This is my little thing like, when I do da'wah, especially to Muslims. We forget that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who opened the sea.
Yeah, I heard you say that a few times, yeah.
He opened the sea, bro, for Musa. That this happened. It's not a trick. There was no wind that caused it. There was no... It broke all the laws that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala set for the dunya. And why? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who set the laws, right? Allah can open the sea. Allah can split the moon in half. Allah can do whatever He likes and place it back together. Allah can open the sea and put it back together. But Allah's perfect in what He does. When He opens the sea for Musa, He makes the ground dry for him to walk across, so his feet don't get stuck. Yet for Pharaoh and his people, He made it sticky and wet for them. This is Allah. You are worshipping the same Allah. When you get up for Fajr, you're praying to the same Lord that Moses prayed to, or Musa alayhi salam. The one that... a boat on a raging sea literally has almost no control, especially an old primitive wooden ark that Noah built. Allah Ta'ala saved him. It's Allah who guided the boat to the right place. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has control of everything. You can't have a child. You can't, except that Allah allows it to happen. There's people out there who wish and wish and wish, and they go and they get surgeries and all sorts to try and have children. They can't. Because Allah doesn't want it to happen, simply. And there's some people who are not even trying to have a kid. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who grows the child in the womb. You can't do it yourself. What, you sit there with your wife going, I gave him 2 arms. Oh, should we make it a girl or a boy? You have no control.
Yeah.
You're just a vessel, man.
Yeah.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does it all. And yet we see these things every day and we forget who Allah is.
Yeah.
Instead, we start asking people. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with going to help for people, but ask Allah first, because Allah is the most capable. Allah can do anything, and you worship Him. He is your Lord. He is the same. When Rasul ﷺ passed away, and this is the biggest calamity, as we know. I love what Abu Bakr as-Siddiq said. Everyone talks about it, but consider it. Abu Bakr as-Siddiq said, whosoever worshipped Rasulullah, know that he died today. But whoever worships Allah, know that Allah is alive and never dies.
Yeah.
Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was on point with the deen.
Yeah.
Allah is alive and never dies. Turn to Him, worship Him, because He is the one. Once you leave this dunya, like you said earlier, bruv, may Allah bless you, you can't come back. So you turn to the one Most High, and anything's possible. You want to become super good at karate or whatever, you got to do a bit of training, but if you ask Allah, Allah can make you the best, the very best, overnight if He wants. Mahdi, when he is guided, it's mentioned in a hadith, authentic hadith, that it happens overnight. Maybe he's off key and then Allah Ta'ala brings him in fully in one night. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala can do anything, brothers and sisters. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala can do anything. And when you realize that realize who your Lord is, it makes you a bit more relaxed. You're like, I can leave it to the Most High.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Take the burden off yourself a bit. Place it with the Lord.
It's true. SubhanAllah, bro.
You want to cut this one off, Is that what you're feeling?
Huh? Do you want to carry on going?
No, yeah, I'm happy to keep going, but I looked at your face, you're like, Jazakallah. You were like, I felt the Jazakallah coming along.
The Jazakallah khair was next, bro.
Yeah, I knew it, man. Bismillah.
Everyone always knows when the Jazakallah khair is coming.
Actually, I saw it in the eyes, bro. Man didn't have to say nothing. Yeah, but I'm happy to keep going. But brothers and sisters, I've had a real good time here today.
Yeah, 2 hours 34 minutes. How did you find it? How have you been finding it?
Actually, it was quite quick, man. I could have carried on, bro. I could bust another hour because I thought we was going to get into some alien stuff and all that, man.
Oh, well, I wanted to talk about.
I'm ready to go, bro.
Well,
Ghosts and all this stuff.
I thought you were done with that because when we spoke on Iman channel, you were like, yeah, bro, like let's discuss like my belief in ghosts and that, and then.
Not belief in ghosts.
I thought that's what I heard, and then
Jinn.
And then when you said that, I was like, all right, cool. So in my head today, I was thinking, oh, that's part of the discussion that I want to have with Faruq, right? And then right at the beginning when you were telling your revert story, you said, oh, I used to believe in ghosts. So I was like, I thought, oh, maybe that's all he meant. But
no.
You, so
you see,
do you because after we had the conversation with my channel, I was thinking to myself like, can you be a Muslim and believe in ghosts?
No. Belief in al-jinn.
Okay.
See, the thing is, with Dawa,
Do you believe in aliens?
I believe it's jinn. You see, the thing is, before I became Muslim, I used to read all sorts of stuff, bruv,
Right.
I used to read this book, and I read multiple of this guy's books, He's like a clairvoyant, and he contacts the dead, as he believes it, or the spirit world, So this dude, he contacts the spirit world. He clearly man's talking to the jinn, and playing around with this sort of information.
Bro, did you have to leave at 1:30?
No, I can go for a little bit more.
Are you
man.
sure?
Yeah, I'm
It's
cool.
2 o'clock, yeah?
Okay, I'm
Okay,
cool.
fine.
I'm cool, man. We can finish up on this if you like. This will be the last little
I
topic.
want to carry on because I want to hear about this properly.
Yeah.
I remember early before we started the podcast, you said you wanted to finish by 1:30. But if you're good, I'm good.
I can go till 2 because I've got to get back to pick my boy up.
It's 2 now.
I was 2 now.
Yeah.
What's time? What, 2 now?
1:57.
1:57. Yeah, I think we have to let me finish this 10 minutes, 50 minutes, and then I'll have to roll out.
Fine.
Because I don't know what the traffic's like. I can pass the buck, but if I hit the traffic, I'll pass the buck.
No worries.
To someone else to collect my boy. So as I was saying, I used to be really into this stuff. Bro.
Okay, so sorry because I was distracted by all that time stuff. So you're watching subhanallah. You're watching this man, or you reading about his books, and he speaks to quote unquote.
It was one of his ghost hunter shows.
Okay,
Man was on his ghost hunter show. I saw it.
Yeah,
I was always into it though.
Yeah.
I used to watch this thing called Strange But True.
Okay.
You ever hear of that show?
No, but I remember a show when I was little called it wasn't a real documentary. It was like a made up show for kids. It was about ghosts. It was called Ghost, not Ghostbusters. Ghost. Mate, do you remember a show when you were younger and it was about this woman? She was like this like evil like woman or something, and she used to collect ghosts in a jar.
Didn't have like a bulb or something. It was like a bulb. You used to light a bulb and it would suck the ghost into a jar.
Yes.
It was like an evil woman who
evil woman who would catch them, and they were like trying to like.
Yeah, I remember that.
The guy with the white hair, what's his name? What's that show?
White hair. I'm not sure.
That's the one I remember. The one with the.
Oh, is that who you're talking about?
Oh yeah, that's the dude. That's the original dude. Derek, his name was. Derek.
But
that North accent and all that. Yeah, I can speak to this ghost and it's coming to me. Yeah, me too. Most
Really?
Haunted, it was called. Yeah, I used to watch that. Yeah.
Okay.
But before that, I used to watch this thing called Strange But True.
Okay.
He used to have Michael Aspel. Do you remember him? And he would present the show and he'd go, "Some things in this world, strange things happen. Like people would see ghosts or strange anomalies. Scientific break all the laws of physics. Things would happen. Someone would come in and all their chairs are stacked up and things like that.
Okay.
So I was always into that sort of stuff. Yeah, and I got into it. I believed it, man. Sincerely, when I heard about Al-Jinn, it made total sense, everything, yeah?
It would have been sick if Sam was here for the podcast, because Sam actually took his shahada and his journey is to do with the jinn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so he used to do like DMT and stuff. And so
really?
So he spoke about his experiences when he used to like leave this world and like be with the jinn and stuff. And then he used to I had these experiences with the jinn, right? And then sometimes they'd be really friendly and loving to him.
Yeah.
Other times it'd be the scariest things you've ever seen.
Wow.
And we sleep and because
just like it's described in the hadith.
yeah,
man.
and because
Some are good and
because of that he became a Muslim.
Wow.
because he heard about Jinn. He's
Oh,
like,
I've got to hear his podcast, man.
Well, if you
You
want
got
to
it
hear,
on the show.
yeah, if you want to hear his original story,
Yeah.
then like the first ever podcast, I used to run a podcast by myself called The Next Phase,
Okay.
and so
the next phase,
next phase,
mashallah,
yeah.
little wordplay in that, yeah.
and so the last episode I did was with him, and then we started Freshly Grounded, and he talks about his story there. Very interesting, man.
I'm gonna listen to it, bro. The next phase.
The next phase, and then his
send
name
me
is Sam
send me a
Palmer.
cheeky little link once we're
Yeah,
done
I'll
with
send
this
you a
one,
link.
yeah, and I'll listen to that
Chuck it in the
on the way
car.
home, yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm running late, it's all good, yeah. I can just get
Fine,
someone to pick
fine,
up the
go
boy,
on.
yeah. So, I used to get the magazine. My mum used to get the magazines, yeah, like these Fortune and whatever magazines. I'd read through them all about ghosts, about this, that, and you have little stories and pictures. I was proper into it, man. I used to love that stuff. And when I heard about the gym made total sense. Now, aliens and all this stuff, bro. There's things that have happened that people can't explain, yeah? Physics and that. People today, they only believe in what they can test, as they try to say it's not scientific, it breaks a... Bro, your conscious is not scientific, technically, yeah? If you want to play that game, you can't measure it. I can't speak to you through my mind's voice, can I, right?
Yeah.
Did you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just said Faisal, yeah, but you couldn't hear that, right? No, did anyone at home hear that? That's the question. No, nobody heard it. Yet, there's people who somehow interact with beings that we can't see, yeah? Like this brother was talking about DMT. He went and spoke to these creatures, whatever they were.
Yeah.
He's come back. You can't see them. They don't exist
Yeah.
in your eyesight, in what you can see and what you can measure. Yet they're there. They share this dunya with us, yeah? How you access them, I don't know if DMT is a gateway to or not. Yeah, I'm not.
Allah knows best.
No, I'm not a scientist, nor am I, one who receives wahi from the Lord Most High. Yeah, so I don't know anything about that. But what I do know is that
That just reminded me of when we did Ramadan with Iman, and you were trying to frame on TV that I'm trying to ask the Sheikh if drugs are permissible.
I was joking.
That was so funny, bro.
I got you there, man.
Yeah, that was funny, man.
Sheikh Wasim, man. He dealt with. Actually, I tried to always break Sheikh Wasim, make him laugh. And
But that specific drug, he said, is permissible.
Who's Sheikh Wasim?
Yeah, that study drug that I was talking to him about.
Oh, what, DMT?
Now, there's a study drug. It's like known as a study drug. Definitely. So, sorry, because I kept biting in the story.
No, that's all right. It's all right. I used to. I was really into it anyway, and there was a guy who lived near me. He used to claim to be able to, take feelings from things.
Oh, really?
So he would he'd give a description about certain things, by touch and things like that. The point is, there's parts of our creation that we don't fully understand ourselves, like consciousness. It's not fully understood. Yeah. Dreams. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, it's a big thing I want to, if Allah allows me. I know it's not an ilm that you study per se, but I want to spend time with some shuyukh when I'm out in Medina, with those shuyukh who can do dream interpretation, because this is something which is coming from the unseen.
Have you heard Tim Humble's podcast? Tim Humble's video about, he did a lecture about dreams.
No, I haven't.
He's not he admits himself, he's like, I'm not a dream interpreter or anything like that, but he's like, I've done research, and he kind of explains his research. Very interesting.
Yeah, I love that. I listened to a beautiful lecture series by one of the shuyukh, man, I bless him. And as well, I've got the book by Ibn Sirin. Well, it's not by Ibn Sirin, but it's a collection of his dream interpretations and his understanding of it. And as well, I spoke to many shuyukh about this topic, because it's a very, very interesting topic. It comes down to feeling. A lot of the dream interpretation, how you feel. Like when Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, he interpreted their dream in front of the Prophet ﷺ. Prophet ﷺ said, you got part of it right and a part of it wrong. He really, really wanted to know what part was wrong, and the Prophet ﷺ refused to explain it to him. The point is, this is information that comes, and you can derive it from the dream. It's not to predict the future. That's not the purpose of it. But rather, it's to give you good tidings, to give you good news, to encourage you, to make you feel good. There's some people, bruv, that's had dreams recently about the Day of Judgment. One particular person, and I bless them, she had a dream about the Day of Judgment. It was a very powerful dream. There's people who've had dreams seeing the moon split in half. There's people who have recently had dreams of malaika, angels. People have strange dreams, bro, and it's amazing when you hear them. There's people who claim to hear voices in their head, that things are happening, things are being spoken to, people are doing things. because of these voices there in their head. Is it angels? Is it jinn? What is it? This whole part of the ilm is very interesting, especially to people in Britain. This whole knowledge is very interesting because a lot of people want to believe in a hereafter. They want to believe in a ghosts and these sort of stories, but it has to be explained to them correctly so they can have a right understanding. We are completely disconnected from anything like this here. Now we're a very material society, bro. Back in the time of the Sahaba, there was no question of whether the jinn existed or not. That's why the Quraysh accused him of being a madman who's a clairvoyant, talking to the spirits. He's possessed. That's what they said about him. Disbelievers, bro. Didn't believe in Allah and his messenger, yeah? But they had their own religion, whatever. But they accused him of being possessed. This is something which today people don't talk about. People, maybe they are mentally ill, or maybe there's something more to it than meets the eye. This is the reason why I like these sort of discussions and talk about this type of knowledge is because it's something which we need to be familiarized with. This is something our children need to learn about, need to know about, because it's interesting and it's something which people are forgetting about. Like, when was the last time you heard a khutbah about the jinn, bro?
A while, man.
It's been a while of it.
I can't even remember one, to be honest.
Sir, people don't talk about this anymore. When was the last time someone asked you about your dreams? What dreams you've had?
Yeah.
And the Sahaba did it all the time.
Yeah.
If the Prophet said him after Fajr, he would ask them, anyone have any dreams? And he would explain their dreams to them. And he himself had dreams, but his dreams were more than a dream. It was wahi, right? But the thing is, this was something discussed. Dreams, jinn, this was people talked about, knew about. It was understood. The jinn accepted Islam. It was mentioned in the Quran. There was a party of them that were listening, and they became Muslim. These things exist. They need to be discussed. We need to be familiarized with it, and we need to understand that there are from them those that do not want good for us, especially the Muslims. I'm not saying that we need to go into these. Have you seen these possession videos?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not promoting that at all. Yeah, that's not what I'm promoting. Nor am I promoting this idea that they could be controlled or that there's any authenticity to these videos. Yeah, but they get a lot of views. People love to do them. Yeah. I have met a sister when I was doing a documentary series. And we was up north and we was talking to this guy, and we wanted the stories so we could put into the film about this. And there's a sister, she didn't come on screen, you don't see her, and we changed her voice as well. But she had a case of it, and she said, I used to be really good at school, hard working at school, whatnot. And then I just, she said, I just started getting snappy, and the parents explained it, she was cool, fine one day. Then all of a sudden, she just started coming snappy. And she said, no, I wouldn't remember any of it. But she would speak in a different voice. And we had some footage of it that was given to us, which we blurred out everything. But she literally sounds like a different person. She would speak Arabic. She was from a Bengali background. She had no Arabic whatsoever. Yet she would speak Arabic. The thing claimed to be, all of them seem to claim to be the grandson or related to Iblis somewhere. I don't know. Yeah? All these things claim this information. It's strange because... this is something which society is turning its back on. It's crazy, to believe this stuff, to talk about it. We need to revive this knowledge. We need to talk about it. It needs to be familiarized with the Muslims specifically, because why do we have these protection, these du'as to protect? Yeah, because these things actually affect you. People forget that why am I finding it hard to pray? Why am I finding it hard to get up for Fajr? Why am I finding... Maybe there's something else affecting your lifestyle that you can't see. So you got to be aware of this. You got to protect yourself with it. This people today, they like, this DMT you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
This, have you heard of Alex Jones?
Yeah.
Jesus, Allahu alim.
If it's not.
It seems so.
Yeah.
But a lot of what he says, and I try to follow some of these.
He's got his own podcast.
More famous I don't listen to his podcast, but I listen to a few of the ideas that they come out with, because there's people who follow them and believe them.
Oh yeah, massive, man. He's got a massive audience.
Geezer, there's this guy, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
He's got a massive following.
Yeah,
people listen to what he says.
He's the biggest podcast in the world.
The funniest thing is, Akhi, a lot of what he says, and these more erroneous beliefs, like he had
He
Brian
does the MC
Cox.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
obsessed with it, I think. Yeah,
He
he's
said
addicted.
he does like these retreats every now and again when he just wants to kind of zone out of the world. He'll just go to the forest, do some DMT.
Yeah.
Madness in it.
You
And
know,
he says
like,
you're in
reflect
another
on
world.
myself,
And that's
bro.
why he believes so much in the unseen. He says that there's more to this world, but Islam, is completely off.
Oh yeah. The he brought this Brian Cox on his show. You know Brian Cox.
I saw that episode, like that there was an episode, but I never watched it. I don't know who it is.
Okay,
Who is
Brian
he?
Cox. Well, I knew Brian Cox before I knew of Joe Rogan.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew of Brian Cox because if you're into science, I've always loved science as well. It's something. Look, I'm not a professional. I'm not studied in it or anything. Yeah, but it's something I've really been interested in because since I was little, like I remember I invented rollerblade shoes before rollerblade shoes came out, bro.
Really?
Yeah, I invented like literally. I was bored at my nan's house. And she used to have this shortbread. You know shortbread?
Yeah.
Aki, I took the back of the shortbread box because I wanted to have skates, but I'm not from a family where we'd buy things like that. We had, we weren't a wealthy family, yeah? But I designed them. I designed trainers, the wheels folded inside the sole. So I designed them and they were spring loaded. So you literally you could jump up, click your feet together and the wheels would go bing, pop out, and then you could skate. And a proper design of them. I didn't build them or anything. And then they came out a couple of years later, rollerblade shoes.
I remember when they were massive. You remember them?
You know this, what Elon Musk is building?
Yeah. The tunnel? Or
The underground tunnel.
Yeah.
Actually, I invented this in school when I was about 14 years old. Exact thing what he's doing. It's a pressurized tunnel system that uses electromagnets to travel.
Cool, yeah.
Now, I invented this years and years and years ago. The thing is, I always like to dream about technology, where we could go with it, dream about science, and with this added in thing with the Jinn. Now, when you look at Brian Cox's theory, when he was talking about, we might be in a simulation. It ties in perfectly with Islam. When people talk about the Jinn and they talk about DMT and these little elves that come out and talk to it, Jinn. Everything that these people talk about that's out there a little bit, you could draw a line like a dot to dot through Islam. Now, I'm not saying Islam is that. I'm not saying that. Rather, that has to conform to Islam. I'm not saying we bend Islam to fit that. But what is within what they discuss, a lot of these topics that people are interested in, people care about. Like this guy, what's his name there? The one I mentioned, the crazy dude.
Alex Jones,
yeah? He was talking about, these people are talking to interdimensional beings, these aliens, and they're doing this and that and the other to children. Yeah? He was talking about some really crazy stuff. Akhi, how do we know that the jinn or the shayateen are not requesting? Because there's one sheikh from Saudi, they caught a man doing magic, and they asked him, look, how did you get in contact with them? Yeah, and I don't think this is the right podcast to go into the details, because I don't want to encourage anybody to go out there and start trying to get in contact with the jinn. This is not the idea. But the things that they would do, Akhi, was disgusting. There's a lecture done by Muhammad Tim Humble.
Yeah, called
May Allah bless him.
Abracadabra. We've spoken about that before.
I don't know if it was that one.
There's two. There's one called Abracadabra. There's one called something. I know what you mean. Like, I watched them both.
Yeah, he talked about
The history of magic.
here in Britain, how they found the names of Allah.
Yeah.
It's funny how these all connect to one another. That Islam is at the core of a lot of this stuff, and the things that these shayateen may make these people do, like maybe attack children, something forbidden and haram. There was one guy, he had to defecate himself, turn up for salah, front row of salah in Janaba on Fajr. So you might see man praying front row, and now I'm not saying go start being suspicious of guys, but in order for him to please the shayateen, they said, right, go, become majorly impure and go and attend, whatever. Whatever. He might have had to do something worse than that, You know what I mean? But then attend Fajr Salah. That's the dedication they wanted.
Yeah, of course. Subhanallah.
So who's to say that they don't, a lot of this sick, evil stuff that we hear about, it's not to do with that.
Yeah, I'd advise watching Abracadabra and the History of Magic by Tim Humble. It's on YouTube. It's very easy to find. I think they're both like hour to hour long lectures, but they're extremely interesting, and it gives you an idea about the unseen. Speaking of inventions and stuff, what invention were we just speaking about? We said you talk about the different. Elon Musk with the tunnels and stuff. The guy who invented Dyson Hoover, not Hoovers, because Hoover is actually a brand. Dyson is a brand. So
Dyson
vacuums. He's one of the richest men now in the world. He's so rich, and they're like the leading vacuum cleaner brand. And he actually his first invention was that it was called the ball barrow. So he invented a wheelbarrow that's on a ball. Because he saw people using wheelbarrows and they're moving back and forth, and this is so inconvenient. So he created the ball barrow, and he got it stocked in some shops. And he realized that even though it's a good invention, the demand for it is just not there, because you have to think about the amount of people who actually buy wheelbarrow is so small, and then those who buy wheelbarrow who actually find it an issue to use it how they use it to have a ball barrow. And so he said sometimes it's not about just having a good invention. That actually is a really good idea, but it's about like people don't want it or need it or require it. And so he actually took that concept of the ball barrow and he put it into a Hoover, and then so that a Hoover does the same thing, works the ball, because all Dysons are working on a ball, right? And then you came with Dyson. Now look how rich he is and how successful Dyson is. And also I think that the first. So I found that interesting, that one part of it. But the other thing I found interesting is I believe that the first Dyson that was ever made, or the concept of it, just like how you created the rollerblades in your shoes, he got a ball and he took apart a Hoover and like, put it like that. And the first concept was just his house Hoover, because I don't think they came from a wealthy family. But it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the end of the story. It's not like
no. But I see how I read it. This is the thing. Inspiration can come from anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Allah Ta'ala is the one who gives it. Like there's how Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala gave to Dawood and made malleable in the hands of Dawood metal, so he was able to make different type of armor that no one had ever seen before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was chainmail. They say it was invented by Dawood. Now Allahu Alim if it's Sahih or whatnot, or maybe it's from the Israeliyat. But the point is, we know that Dawood, in his hands, he made metal software. He mentioned, yeah. But if you have the right mind, and if you like example, the cup.
Yeah.
How can you improve on the cup? Akhi, there's no need.
Yeah.
Cup does its function. Yeah.
And people have tried, bro. Like for example, you see those the companies that made a mug that is like has a button and then it stirs your coffee for you. But even all these things, they're just like novelty things. It's not going to actually replace a cup. You're not going to now get every household have that.
Never,
so
bruv.
that's like the ball barrow. Yeah.
What's the point? Like nowadays, everything becoming an app.
Yeah.
The only way that's ever going to be really feasible is if when they build new houses, they incorporate it into the design of the building, which is I think what they're going to do.
Well, that happens now with smart homes.
Yeah, everything's smarter now. Yeah, that's the way it's going.
I could talk about smart homes for years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love smart homes.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't mind smart home, but I'm not. What I'm more interested in is how we can use apps and smart devices to connect better to the Muslims and connect better to each other.
To make it stronger. I'll give you an example of how one can benefit. So my house has smart bulbs in it, which means that all my bulbs, or the bulbs that are able to be adapted, I can turn my bulbs on and off with my voice.
If you don't mind, I'm going to quickly message home
do
to
that
let
text,
them know
do that text.
that I'm calling her.
Yeah,
I'm going to get in big trouble, bro.
Yeah. So these smart bulbs, right? What you can do is it's 2:20 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon we're probably only gonna go for like another 10 minutes, really.
Should we finish it off then?
Yeah.
Let's just finish it off.
Fine. We'll go for like.
So you're gonna edit this bit then?
Nah, I'll
just leave it in.
Yeah.
All right then, bro. I tell you what, brothers and sisters, it's been a real pleasure coming here today to talk with you, Faisal. Jazakallah khair, alhamdulillah. It's hopefully we covered enough stuff, inshallah ta'ala, to interest the viewers.
This is hands down the longest podcast that we've done.
Yeah.
This has gone over the 3-hour mark.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah,
we broke the 3 hours. Actually, that was the idea.
It's 2 hours 58 right now.
58. So should we do another 2 minutes to break the
we'll
record?
Do 5 minutes.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Let me ring my missus because she's just
in
texting
case
me as well. Yeah.
All right. Fine.
Let me call her. Am I going to go live with this?
No, I can cut it. This out.
Yeah, cut this little bit out.
Yeah.
Actually, no, we don't want to cut nothing out, bro.
All right,
Let's leave it in. Yeah.
He's making a call to his missus live on the podcast. He's actually hidden. He's actually hidden away. I don't know. I thought he was going to have the conversation in his microphone, but he's not. He's having the conversation. And when mashallah, a beautiful conversation that you had there with your missus.
There we go.
And you ended it with love you. Just
yeah, cool. No, that's a standard procedure,
Yeah.
brothers and sisters. You got to be a romantic out
Yeah.
there. You know? You can't just walk around. You know what I mean? Billy. Oh, I can't say that. Billy Big Man in it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to also be a Bit of a romantic. Why? Sunnah. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
So this is one way that a smart thing can benefit the ummah, because it's about how you use it, right? So these smart bulbs, you can turn them on and off the light with your voice or with your app, or you can dim it and stuff. You can also set a timer on it. So what you can do at Fajr time, light automatically comes on. Okay, that's a benefit.
Brilliant idea. What I was thinking is more on the encouraging to do more khair. Like for example, imagine a set diary. Yeah. But it works smart with you. So, for example, it gives you a time of the day to do dhikr, and it has a little timer, and you click it, and it gives you the dhikr, and you read it off there. Yeah, you read, and it gives you like 1 minute of dhikr, just randomly throughout the day. Yeah,
you can get stuff like that.
Yeah, but it builds up as your ibadah gets more, and then it'll register you, and then at the end of the week, it gives you a little report, almost like a health report, but like okay, this week you did no sunnah. You did this, you did that, whatever, yeah? But you have to register it.
That technology already exists, so but I just don't know if there's any benefit in that for the wildlife. People would take that on board.
Yeah, that's a good point. I suppose it's for a practicing Muslim. Yeah, it's for someone who wants to even for practicing Muslims,
their lifestyles are still so different that... Whereas I think stuff like that bulb helps. I think stuff like, for example, there's other smart things you can do.
That is a good one. I like that one. The light comes on.
But it's tenner, man, at Amazon.
It's worth it, man.
Yeah, definitely.
It's worth an out in center, bro.
There's stuff like, for example, you can get like smart thermostats and that kind of stuff. Smart kettle. The smart kettle is the thing I find the weirdest, because I understand the benefit of a smart bulb, because you're in bed, light switch over there, you just turn light switch off with your phone, or you go to turn light off and it goes off. But a smart kettle I get confused by, because let's say if I went, hey Alexa, put the kettle on, kettle would wirelessly come on, but at some point I would need to put water in it. So if I'm up anyway putting water in the kettle, I might
but then I think they're going to get rid of that. Like, can you imagine? There'll be like an integrated fridge that makes your tea for you. Yeah,
well, you can already get a boiling water taps installed in your house.
Yeah, no, but why? Why would you need to when you can just command it with your voice and it creates the tea and it comes out in a cup?
Yeah.
And you go over and you pick up your mug and you go say, and when you're done with it, you put it back in, it washes it itself and places it away.
Like I said, the technology for all that stuff already exists. Yeah. Someone has to create
it's not even difficult, really. Like, it's a very simple. It's all mechanisms and electronics, but it's when is it going to be integrated? Like, it has to. That sort of system has to be integrated into a big unit. Yeah. But you can imagine, like, Alexa, make me fish and chips. Would you like fried fish, grilled fish? And it'll be able to do it all.
Do it all.
And it'll make it all for
definitely.
you.
That's good. I reckon we get there in our lifetime.
Totally, bruv. This is simple. What I'm really interested in is concepts that already exist in the Quran. An example, light speed travel.
Okay.
Light speed travel. What are malaika made from? What are the angels made out of?
I don't know.
You don't know? Light.
Okay.
Light. Our frail human body cannot travel at the speed of light, bro. It would literally be destroyed. Yeah?
Right. So
at a certain speed, if you travel at a certain speed, your body falls apart, tears apart, yeah? Malaika, why... just consider this, Consider this. Look, I'm not a scholar, don't know anything really, but... if something travels so fast that you can't see it, it's traveling faster than light. 'Cause your eyes see due to the light, right? Everything you see is because light is hitting it and bouncing off of it. It lights the room. If you take all the light away, you can't see nothing.
Yeah.
Because there's no light for you to see. Your eyes require light to see, right? If something travels faster than the light moves, so it could literally move in and out of this part here, without it ever interacting with us, because it moves faster than we can see it. Makes sense?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Makes sense, yeah? The malaika are made out of light, so they travel a completely different frame than us. If we take a photograph of this moment now, they move through us as if we're like a photograph. It moves at such a speed we cannot see it. It doesn't exist to us.
So what is it that you're interested in seeing in this life, that with smart technology that could allow
an example, when Suleiman was sitting and he said, who will bring me the throne of Sheba?
Yeah.
And one of the jinn, he said, I'll bring it to you before you stand up from your gathering. two opinions on this. One of the scholars have said, or one opinion is, should I say, that this means the gathering he used to have after Dhuhr would last between Dhuhr and Asr time roughly. So it may be an hour or two that this jinn would be able to bring the throne from Yemen to Syria or Jerusalem.
Which would still be impossible as we know it. Yeah.
But you couldn't do it now.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it now with the technology we have today. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, but one of them, or one who has knowledge of the scripture. What scripture? Allahu a'lam. We don't know. Would said, I'll have it before you blink your eye. And it was there. Brought the throne. And subhanallah, he said, alter it so that to trick her, to see if she can recognize her own throne. It was a trick he was playing on her. Yeah. But when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that there was some knowledge of a scripture, it shows that there is knowledge out there. There's an ability. There is a way in which you can bring something at speeds, maybe not even speed, akhi. Maybe like a transfer of one place to another instantaneously that doesn't require travel. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These are things mentioned in the Quran.
Well, you can do that with Wi-Fi.
Huh?
You can do it with Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but that's information. I'm talking about physical. This is a throne. Like a throne isn't a digital throne.
You're right.
When a print off,
Right.
printed it out. Like, yeah, have a look at that, Sheba.
Yeah.
No, it was the real throne. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to relate it back to something with
Yeah, but
smart technology that you can.
Taking that as the guide.
Yeah, that's
Let's see
impossible for us, isn't it?
at the moment.
Yeah.
At the moment, but who's to say that we like years ago? If you had said to the Sahaba that I'll be able to take an image of them and then send it to the others, and someone will be able to see, or you'll be able to talk to one another. This was something that they I wouldn't say necessarily would have disbelieved in, but
it
would have been what really how like today we could do so many things that I couldn't do when I was little.
Yeah.
Like I remember Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They used to have these little turtle phones, and they'd go like that, and they'd pull the little thing up. Yeah, they always had the little aerial. Do you remember that? They always had so they'd put it up, and they'd go, "Hey, Master Splinter," and they'd talk to Master Splinter through the little open up turtle shell phone. Because obviously, if you're a turtle, you have to have everything turtle shell. Yeah. So they open up the turtle shell, and it had the video in that. And I used to think, oh, that'd be so cool. Like it was a dream. Now, actually, I can do it. I can literally video call my son when I'm in Saudi. You know, and I talk to my wife and everyone via video every night. Like a very high quality video.
Yeah, that was like me with the. I was talking to you about the smart bulbs, which I discuss almost every episode of Freshly Grounded. But the reason I'm.
What's that? Oh, smartphones.
The smart bulbs.
Smart bulbs? What's that?
That's what I just told you about, the bulbs. That you can turn on and off.
Yeah. Oh, so you're obsessed with these smart bulbs.
Well, the reason is because when I was little, I used to watch this show, and these guys would be put into
the clapper.
a mansion. Yeah,
I remember. Yeah, what was it? Richie Rich?
No, it was the Ultimate Fighter.
The Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was
never know
like
that.
14, 15. They used to, they would be.
I remember it from Uncle Buck. Do you remember Uncle Buck?
No.
Yeah, okay, that's old. You remember Uncle Buck? Yeah, the movie Uncle Buck, and he used to go like that. And the lights would come on, the clapper they called it. But
so that's why, like, you dream of things, but you're right. Technology is going.
Bro, you don't know what's gonna happen soon, bro.
Yeah.
Actually, today they're literally this close to launching the drone delivery service from Amazon. Yeah,
I think it already works in like test areas.
Bro, yeah, they've tested it for ages. Now they're like talking about launching it now. Like, not rather than testing it, they're launching it.
You know, Amazon opened up the first ever. Amazon in America, underneath their HQ, opened up the first ever like supermarket that doesn't have any employees. This was years ago. They did this now.
Yeah.
But so you can go in there, you can do your shopping, but you just pay for everything yourself in your app. You just scan it all, and then it's paid for.
There was one, I think it was an Amazon. In fact, I watched the little thing on it. They didn't even have to scan anything, bro. They literally put it into their basket and walked out.
No way.
And it somehow knew everything that you'd put into your. I don't know how it works. Allah knows, yeah. But there's things, bro, people are working on.
Yeah.
Actually, they're talking about changing people from the very early stage, embryonic stage, like where. You know, if you want your kid to be blue-eyed, you can.
We studied that in my degree in criminology. We studied designer babies, they'd call it.
Yeah.
And should that be legal to design your baby? So you're expecting, and you could design. You could do gene design.
Bro, I think they've already done it. I think they've mucked about enough with it already. personally.
You can say, oh, I want my child to be an athlete, or I want my child to be really clever at maths, or whatever, and you can pay a lot of money to like alter their genes.
Gene manipulation.
I'm not saying that
bro.
you can do. I'm saying that's what they were discussing.
Well, they've already manipulated genes already in animals. What makes you think that these crazy people haven't done it secretly in a lab on human beings?
Yeah, well,
I'm sure they've mucked
if we
about
had
with
Abdul
that
Hakim from Sunnah Remedies on here right now, he'd be talking about the fact that that's what that is happening with the food that they give us right now, like all the bad
genetically modified food. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Actually, plastic's in everything now, bro.
Yeah, so
We breathe it. Plastic's just a bane on this earth. Yeah, everything's like made for mass produced to make money.
Yeah,
You don't think if they can't charge you to change your kid, like to make your kid smarter, brighter, more intelligent, stronger, faster, they're not going to charge you for that? Of course they are, bro.
There was this thing that I was watching, and it is kind of on the topic of just everything kind of just being for show and for money and stuff. Is they basically went to hotels and they took a swab, right, of things in the hotel rooms. And these some of them were like 5-star hotels, and then they put it through this machine to scan how dirty it is. And now the measurement was something like if it's over 50, I'm going to give you an example. Yeah, if it's over, for example, like 50 of this measurement, it's illegal to or it's against the hygiene standards, so much so that it would it's dirtier than. Like one of the most dirty, it's dirtier than like your toilet seat or something. I can't remember, but very dirty, right?
Yeah.
And that's if it's 50. So it's all these hotels, bro. And these hotels they look nice, man, plush.
Yeah.
Bro, they swabbing the TV remote, and it's like 90. And then they're swabbing a bed, and it's like this. And bro, they're swabbing things that you would just touch in a hotel room, and it looks clean, bro. Like little things, bro. Like something you always use, like the bedside table, and it's like 1,000. Mad, bro, and 50 is like unacceptable. And there was things they were swabbing in the hotel rooms, and it was 1,000, bro.
Oops, bro. But did you see what they did at the, one of these I don't know if you're allowed to admit, like one of these fast food restaurants, yeah? You know the new touchscreen thing where you order touchscreen?
Yeah, you can mention
bruv, they found, McDonald's, they found fecal matter, bruv.
No.
Man, they found fecal matter on it. Like literally on the buttons where they press it, like, and they swabbed it.
Yeah, but that's not even surprising. You know Uber Eats, right? You can be the food standard hygiene agency, or whatever. You know when you walk past a restaurant, sometimes they have on their door that sticker, and it's like a green sticker. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the 5 is really big. Yeah. It's because they're showing the food hygiene standard agency, or whatever. They marked our restaurant and they give us a 5. 5 is the best you can get, so we're proud of it, right? Every restaurant has to be marked by this, right?
Yeah.
But on Uber Eats, you can actually order from restaurants that are a 1, which means that it's so bad that the restaurant either needs to be shut down or like it is extreme, like a do-over, right?
Yeah.
Because of what's happening in the back and stuff.
Bro, there's 2 rules you gotta live by when ordering. If you've been there and you've ordered from there before and you've seen it, cool, that's fine, yeah. But when you need to go first to see it. Number 1, look at man's nails.
Yeah.
Look at his nails. If his nails are dirty, he's got long nails and that. Know that he's scratching and itching and that's all in his nails. And he's handling your food. Don't order from there. Number 2, the second one is look behind where they cook. Because it's okay to wipe down the surface. You look at the surface, say, yeah, but look on the floor, look behind them, see behind them. If you see grime and dirt behind and oil and that means they never wipe there. That means that whatever happens, they don't care about it. If this, you get what I'm saying? So your food drops on the floor, man's going to pick it up. Yeah. He ain't going to care.
Listen to this, bro. So on Uber Eats, so
one? I wouldn't eat from there, bro.
So there's 1, and so I'll give you guys some examples so that you know.
And this is banging.
So like, if you were to go to the food, in fact, bro, let's do it right now. So
go on, have a look.
Tell me a restaurant now. I'll tell you what the rating is. So like, let's do like a big one that we like. We'll do like a Nando's or something. Right?
Yeah, go on, do Nando's.
Food hygiene.
Do a Nando's. Let's see what they're saying. I think Nando's are going to be pretty legit because they're going to have procedures in place. They're going to have general managers coming in and checking up on them.
But I just want to give us like
a chain restaurant should be quite high. So I'm guessing they're going to be a 3 to 4.
I'm gonna do Nando's in.
I don't even think a 3. I think 4 to 5 actually for Nando's, bro. Because there's going to be incentives for them to have a 5-star rating. They'll get probably some sort of bonus. So as a manager, I can assume their managers are getting bonuses.
So Nando's has a 5.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah.
So that's the best you can get. So that's the Nando's in Park Royal. So now let's go for like a because I want to show
Nadu
how bad
kebab restaurant. Nadu kebab.
Yeah. All right. So
Turkish. I think they're going to be
Well,
not
we have to
too
name a
bad.
specific one. So
There's one up the road in Wembley. There's I
What's it
can't
called?
remember what it's called. Is it something Kaf?
we
Turkish
We
kebab.
need one that we
Just put kebab. Type kebab in.
No, you can't. You have to mention the business name and the area.
Yeah, but I'm sure there's going to be one called Kebab House or something around here.
Okay, so let's say kebab in Wembley.
Yeah, it will come up. I'm telling you. What you got?
No, because that doesn't help me. What I'm trying to explain to you because
Yeah, but can't you see its health rating once it comes up?
no, because I want us to be able to picture the restaurant so I can tell you about this thing. So picture so that it has to be a restaurant that we all know of. So like
What in around this area?
like let's say Dixie's. Let's say Chicken Cottage. We all know what Chicken Cottage looks like.
Yeah, okay.
Alright.
I'm expecting a 3 out of them.
All right, Chicken Cottage. And what's the area like? Do you know where the Chicken Cottage? There's one in
Hayes,
Hayes.
yeah.
Right, Hayes Chicken Cottage, bro.
I'm gonna say there got to be a 3 at least.
There are 3.
Yeah, I knew it.
Right, which means, by the way, 3 is not bad. 3 means that it's generally satisfactory.
Yeah,
But now
but that's what you expect
right,
from a chicken
yeah,
restaurant.
right,
They're churning out chicken all day.
So now we have our idea in our head. So everyone of viewers, we have an idea of what a 3 is, which is which is generally satisfactory. It's calm. I would eat at a 3, definitely.
Okay, yeah, chicken cottage.
So
This is what you
picture
expect.
Chicken Cottage as a 3. Picture Nando's as a 5. Okay. From Uber Eats, they
Pull up a 1. Let's get a 1, bro. Now let's find a 1.
okay. We'll find my second.
It's got. No offense, Indian restaurant. We've got to
From
go
Uber
Indian
Eats,
restaurant.
we'll check it in the restaurant. How can it be calm? Right, from Uber Eats, bro.
Yeah.
You can't actually. Sorry, you can order from a restaurant that's a 1. You can. As a restaurant, you're allowed to list yourself on Uber Eats if you have a 1 standard rating. Now that means, bro, that they basically accepted anyone, which means that I could order from somewhere and think, oh, because Uber Eats, it must be calm, but it's a 1. Now, think about it. As Uber Eats, if they cared about their people, bro, what they would do, I know, but what they would do is they would be like, go to a restaurant and say, we can't have you because you're 1. You need to be at least a 2 or 3, right, to be on our thing. But they don't do that. So this guy, what he did in this documentary, listen, this is legit, bro.
I saw it.
Did you?
Yeah, I saw it when he opened up a place in a literally a skip.
Yeah. So he hired a skip.
Yeah.
He hired a skip in a car park.
Joel, what's his name?
Joel something. Yeah. Hired a skip. He put and then he got some food. He made like some food somehow. But the dirtiest thing inside the skip, he made it and everything. And he registered himself for Uber Eats. Uber Eats accepted it, and just to test it, they went to like an office nearby and they ordered from there. And the guy just comes. He sees it's a skip. He sees that's made. He picks up the bag of Uber Eats. He drops it off.
Yeah.
And it was like a what was it that they made?
Pizza on it. No, it's something in a microwave. She literally microwaved.
She microwaved something.
Yeah.
And it was a 1, the hygiene standard agency. It wasn't even 1. I don't think he had any. It was something like that.
Yeah, but
Bro.
no, it's literally he showed that no matter what, as long as you register the business there,
Yeah.
you can open up anything. Like
So listen to this.
Man had a skip, bro.
The end of the story is that there's this spot that me and my missus been going to like for sushi. Love my you like sushi, innit?
I've never had sushi. Bro.
Oh, who was it? I was at Iman with. They like sushi.
Probably Ali Dawa. He
I
loves
like sushi,
it. He
but
loves
it was,
sushi.
Maybe it was a sheikh or something. I think it was a sheikh.
Yeah, maybe
So-
Sheikh was
So
saying.
listen to this, yeah. Me and my missus, we love this place that does sushi. You go into this place, bro. We've been there a few times. Food's good. It's good price, and it looks very clean. The place. Eaten there loads of times. Like. Now we found out about this food standard thing. Yeah, we can check everything. So I'm like doing what we just. I was like, oh, name a restaurant. She's like, this, and I'm like, yeah, check it out. There's a 3. Oh, name this. Oh, there's a 4. I go, and then she's like, yo, check that sushi place that we like. Yeah, I'm like, cool. Check it now. It's a 1, bro.
1.
It's a 1.
And you've been yamming there, bro.
Yeah, but listen, the story gets
Akhi,
worse.
You know what? You probably got a little. Oh, I'm not even
Listen,
say,
the story
bro.
gets worse, yeah. Because I've been to a restaurant so many times, it's so clean, yeah. And we always eat from there. We never had a stomachache ever from that restaurant. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. But now we've been talking about sushi so much, I fancy sushi. So for one of the iftars now, like this is past Ramadan, after I had this information, yeah,
You still went.
I'll go and order myself sushi from this spot.
Astaghfirullah.
Sushi comes out. She's like, I ain't touching that. How you going to order that since you know it? She goes, we're never going there again. I'm like, yeah, but we've been there enough times, seen everything's clean, everything, blah, blah. It's Sahur time now. I'm going to whip out that sushi that I ordered earlier. Eat a couple of them sushis. But all I can think about in my head is this one rating. I dashed the sushis, but I couldn't do it. I felt sick because I was eating each one. I was like, this could be like, this could be actually worse for my health.
Have you been in that restaurant?
Yeah.
And it looked clean. Akhi, for them to get a 1 and it looks clean, there's
I'm
something
wondering what's in the back.
terrible.
You know why, bro?
wrong,
Because you can't actually see what's in the
Can't
back.
see, yeah.
You can only see the front of the restaurant. So I'm thinking,
rats and
yeah, akhi. So I actually, allowed it now. So, but bro, imagine what they had, bro. Because bro, chicken. I'm not saying anything bad about chicken cottage, but you know what these fried chicken shops are like. You look at the back, bro. It's greasy floors. They're fried chicken, all that, but you're munching it.
But it's standard, and they turn over a lot of food.
Bro, and that's the
fish is
and that's
really
a 3, bro.
Fish is
So we're going to a proper like type of restaurant that you'd go on date night. And it looks nice, bro. You wouldn't be embarrassed to go there with your missus. Akhi, so 1. Give me another one, and we'll find some ones. Let's go for Dixie chicken.
Dixie's gonna be alright, man. You're probably gonna get a 2 out of a Dixie. Yeah.
Let's start Dixie's. Does anyone know where there's a Dixie's?
Dixie, you're gonna get a 2. Probably a Dixie in what? There must be. Just put Dixie, bro.
I'll put Dixie's. I'll see. Maybe you don't need to provide. Yeah, you don't need to. Look at that, bro. Dixie's.
I said a 2. I reckon you get a Dixie at a 2, bro.
Dixie chicken's a 5, bro.
Oh, there you go, man.
Look at that.
That man's looking after his Dixie.
All of the Dixie chickens are a 5. All of them.
They've gone up a bit.
Derby, Derby, Newcastle, Birmingham, Nottingham.
Yeah, but they the
London.
5-star Dixies. What about there? Must be a few 3 2-star Dixies, bro. Yeah, the Southall Dixies. What's going on there, bro?
Bruv, we was looking at restaurants in Southwood. They were still free, bruv. Like, let me type it. There's this.
One of the worst restaurants I've ever seen was Holloway, bro. I went in there, yeah, man's fingernails that I've been scraping up.
Yeah, I can't stand dirty fingers. Like, look, so there's a restaurant
Scraping up
in
poop
Southall
and that,
called
bro.
Shahidan Kebab.
Disgusting.
Yeah, there's Shahidan Kebab. All the Asians know about it. It's some proper nice. Like,
Shahi Naan Kebab.
Yeah, but
you got to talk about KO Kebabish original. Man.
yeah, we'll look at that. I like Kyo as well. But Shahidan Kebab, bro, is like. It's like a rago spot you go when you're feeling grimy, you just fancy a dirty kebab. Actually, they're a 4. Imagine what that is. So, I just said the name of the sushi spot.
Inso.
Yeah, I don't care. I ain't gonna.
Yeah. Well, they're not going to advertise with you, bro.
Yeah.
Forget Inso. Boys and girls don't go to Inso, man. They're disgusting. They're 1 star. Nah, they probably got pork as well in it, bro.
What was the one that we just mentioned?
Don't know.
What did you?
Kebabish original, Dixie.
Yeah. I'm gonna just type in KO.
I like a good doner, mate. Doner's my thing. Doner's my thing, man.
Nah, they've not got Kebabish original. Yes, I think every restaurant has to have this. Yeah. Oh.
What?
I don't want you to say it, yeah, because people can search it for themselves, yeah. But look at what a Kebabish original has.
Yeah, I know which one that one is, bro. Of course it's that one.
Look at the
It's got a
rating.
1. Yeah, of course it's got a 1. Absolutely
How?
disgusting, bro. You know exactly where it is.
No, I was saying don't say the number. You said the number.
Huh?
I was saying don't say the number.
Bro, it's got a 1, actually. I'm surprised they got a 1.
That's a madness.
Surprised they got a 1 in there.
Alright, listen, bro. 3 hours 22 minutes. We
Yeah,
did
I
well.
think we're record holders now, bro.
Alhamdulillah.
Jazakallah khair
Look,
to you.
Jazakallah khair for coming on the podcast because I know
Welcome, bro.
I appreciate you
most
coming down. I know
welcome.
you haven't done a podcast before. This is your first one.
It's
So
first
you bless
podcast,
us with
mate.
it.
Not my
Thank-
last, because I got one next week.
Yeah,
as
you
well.
have got one, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the Ira one, right? With
Yeah,
Musa.
you got the first dibs, though, bro.
Yeah, this will be out
I might
tomorrow,
not even be able
inshallah.
to do next week's one because I'm back to work on Thursday and he wants me to do it on Thursday. So I said yeah, but then I
work
got
at
a
Iman?
message from Iman channel saying
Okay.
yeah, you got to come in Thursday. So
Oh, okay.
alhamdulillah,
Alhamdulillah.
I'm going to be doing that. Inshallah.
I'm not gonna be on there for a while now.
No?
Nah, they brought me in for the Ramadan stuff, but it eases out
Yeah?
after that. Yeah.
Inshallah ta'ala. Akhi, come up with an idea for a show. Pitch it to him, man.
Yeah,
You know what I
inshallah.
mean?
I've had a few ideas, bro, but it's hard because like they're quite like big productions or like ones that I want to like. I don't want to do them in the studio and stuff.
Yeah, Akhi, you got to look. The thing
You
is,
gotta prep it all up.
you'll prep it right, all that.
Yeah.
That's all I've did, man.
Yeah.
I've done some massive productions over the years, and all of it's just been like that brother said, like saying, "Yeah, I can do it," and then coming up with an idea and going.
Do
there
you know what it is, bro? Like it will get like some of these stuff.
It's
will
a little bit of a black,
but some of
along
the
with a tawakkul in Allah.
But
bruv.
some of the stuff will get more traction online, bro, than on TV. Now, with the way media's working out,
You do, but at the same time, your credibility increases on TV compared to online. Like online, bro, have you seen the weirdos online, bro? There's people with lipstick on, walking around pretending they're men. Like pretending they're women, excuse me. There's men. Well, you didn't want me to go into this too much, yeah. But like, that's going on, bro. I wouldn't say online makes you credible. You can get a lot of followers, But credibility is offline, like on TV.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, it's true. But
Yeah.
yeah. If you're
Get my
putting
point.
something that you want to have eyes on, though, you'd get more eyes on online, probably nowadays.
Yeah, I could get. I've been saying it for a long time. Years ago, we was going to do something online, me and another brother. And we really considered it. But I don't want to just be the one. Like I got on my Facebook, I got about 5,000 followers. Bro, I don't know anyone. And I haven't added anybody. They add me. I just accept, yeah? And I've hit the maximum I can get. I don't know them though, bro. I know about 50 people in there.
So if people want to get in touch with you, can they?
Yeah, on Facebook. Yeah, actually, you could get me on Facebook. Well, I'm probably not going to respond. I don't go on there much.
Yeah.
I've got an Instagram. I set it up because of an advice from a sheikh. He told me to do it.
What's your Instagram?
Faruq McDermott. Faruq McDermott. I'm the only one in the world, boys and girls. Yeah. So yeah, you can catch me up on it. But for the most part, if you just
FARUQ
UQ McDermott McDermott. There's only one. The one and only, bro.
You got 596 followers on there.
On my Facebook.
In your Instagram.
I've got 5,000. But those 500, I don't even post, bro. But for those 500, that's from like 2 weeks worth of posting.
Oh, you
bro.
haven't posted since 2018, bro.
Yeah, I don't use it. But if I did, I know I could get more. But the fact is,
could.
yeah.
How come you cut your hair? Your hair looks nice long.
Oh, no, Umrah, bro. It's the only time it gets cut.
Are you growing it back out?
Bro, I'll go for the simple cut, yeah? It's the one length, no fading, nothing, bro.
Are you going to grow it back out?
Yeah. Until I do my next Umrah and then it'll get shaved again. Because I ain't on that opinion where you cut a little bit. Like a little baby girl. Like, nah, I don't want to cut my hair. I know brothers who do it, man. There's one brother, I love him for the sake of love, but he's like that. He cuts a little bit off. Like, come on, man. Be a man about it. Shave your head.
So you get your hair cut once...
No, only when I do Umrah. Yeah.
Oh, and then you never cut your hair.
I trim it to keep it within the sunnah length.
Okay.
Yeah, so I trim it from going beyond my shoulders. Other than that, bruv, I grow it out, man. I don't shave. I don't.
I'm just looking at your Instagram. You got a lot of cats?
Huh?
Oh no, you just like cats.
I love them Medina cats, bro. That's my Instagram for when I was in Medina. I set it up because someone told me to do it, but now I just got bored, Akhi.
Nice little
People
selfie on
commenting and whatnot. I did little videos as well.
there. Yeah.
But brothers and sisters, add me on the Instagram. Maybe if I get a few followers and a few messages, maybe I'll set back up again. I don't know. I can't. To be honest, Akhi, I ain't got the time for it, man. I've got my family, got my kids, got my wife. I like doing fishing. There's loads of stuff I could have gone into, man. And fishing's one of my big things, man.
Why don't you take a picture now, upload it on Instagram, Fresh Grounded, and then we'll get the brothers and sisters to comment on it and say if they like the episode or not.
Yeah, we could
Take a picture. I don't
think they're going to make it through the 3-hour marathon that this thing became.
You'll be surprised, bro. This is our Fresh Grounded.
I'll do it. I'll do
Right,
a
let's do
photo, and then if I get a chance later on, maybe I'll upload it, inshallah.
Well, let's take the photo now while we're
live?
still on camera. Yeah,
Okay.
you gotta have the proof in it.
The proof is in the pudding.
Yep.
There you go,
That's-
bruv. Let's get the freshly grounded tag in there.
There you are.
There you go, that do.
Let me
That
see
will
that shot.
do
That's a nice little
nicely.
shot. That's a nice little shot there. Let me see.
Actually, I'm squinting away as well, bruv.
Oh, that's a solid shot.
Man, looks like we've been hitting trees on this one, bro.
MashaAllah, tabarak.
Astaghfirullah, azim.
And with that being said, brothers and sisters,
Assalamu
thank you so
alaikum.
much for watching this episode of Freshly Grounded. Jazakallah khair to Brother Farooq for coming down. And inshallah ta'ala, we'll make the offer for you that Allah puts barak in your studies. And
Ameen.
bro. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu
Assalamu
alaikum.
alaikum. Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.